Hello everybody, we're back with Season 7 of the Wbsc, and we got a bunch of coaches here, and we're just gonna go over everyone's draft. So I have Pac, say hi Pac.
Yeah, I'm not a coach, and I take a lot of offense to you calling me.
Yeah, he's not even a coach anymore.
Yeah, three is a good amount of coaches. Next we have Nick, say hi Nick.
Hello.
And then
Hello.
we might have Yad jump in a few times.
We don't have Yad. Yeah, who's Yad? Cam? No, there's no Yad here.
We have Yodeler here.
We have a Ben. We have a Ben here, actually.
We
We have Yodeler.
We have the Yodeler here, guys. And we're just gonna pretty much go over everyone's draft team. I guess we're gonna start with mine since I'm first. I had the first pick. Yeah. So I got Dragapult, which I think is the best mon right now. It would have been Coco if, you know, he kept his moves. But unfortunately he did not. But I picked Pult.
Hypothetically speaking, though, Cam, you said you were going to draft Galarian Zapdos. What made you draft Dragapult instead?
Oh, Galarian Zapdos is not it's not that
As good
great
as you thought.
as I saw he would have like 125 speed, base 100 speed. I don't know why they did that for him. My poor guy. But that's why I picked Pult over him. What the heck?
God, what
Yad. Guys, this is awful.
Keep it going, guys. We're cool.
We're keeping it going.
For those watching, which is just WBSC people,
Actually,
oh,
not.
yeah,
Actually,
that
that's
was
not.
Ben.
That's actually not true. We actually had like 20 people out of nowhere watch our videos.
that's cool. Well, we don't care about them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're watching this video and you're not part of the WBC,
Leave a comment down
care
below.
about you.
Leave a comment down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Only a small percentage of you guys are subscribed.
If you want more views from Pac, please subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're going into my
Anyway,
team
moving
now.
on.
Okay, so I picked Pult first, and I just said why. It's probably the best mon in draft right now.
I think it is. Now that Coco, like, we know that lost its moves, I think it's
Yeah.
pretty clearly number one.
Also, Ghost in general is a really good offensive typing. This just gen. No Pursue also helped it a lot. So it's really hard to punish too. If you just
Yeah.
wanna, you just have to like, if you really want to punish it, you really have to just run like a Scarfer that you're not expecting. So, like, because this thing outspeeds like I think every mon besides Mega Aerodactyl, Zera, and then like Ninjask
And Reggie
Oh.
Lucky.
and Reggie
yeah,
Lucky,
Goat.
yeah.
Regieleki.
Yeah. But I feel like that's why.
Why are you making those noises?
Okay.
anyways.
So after,
Turns
af-
out, very matter of fact,
I think your team is good, Cam.
I think
I'm
my
gonna say
team.
that.
I think my team is really well
The
built.
the only pick I don't like is Cinchino. I feel like he could have gotten something different.
Yeah, he's just
he
there
already has
for
some- Just
keep in
seems
mind,
speed.
keep in mind this wasn't Cinchino was a tier 5, and in a lot of other seasons it was a tier 4 where people still drafted it there. So
Oh,
yes,
and it got triple axle too, so it can
yeah,
beat
this
dragons.
is a very good mon for a tier 5. It provides a lot of offense with skill link. So like for being a tier 5, it is very worth that slot. Could there have been a better fit? Absolutely, but the return on investment between any other tier 5 wasn't going to be much better, if anything.
Yeah. Also, I desperately needed a base 115, and he was the only one that I actually liked in tier 5. So that's why I went with him.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's no like quote unquote like bad Pokemon in their tiers on your team. Even Sandslash got like spikes this gen. Like,
Spikes.
rocks,
Keep
Yeah.
it right. It gets the boost with Rapid Spin too, which actually makes it a threatening, cleaner late game.
I mean, isn't it space speed like 2 or something?
It's
What is
it's
space
I
speed?
think it's 60.
Yeah, it's actually 2. It's actually slower than Avalanche.
It's actually 2.
It's
I-
like base
I-
70, if I recall. Base
I
70,
really like
65.
I really like the support mons they got with it. I think Mandibuzz is probably the best mon you can pair with Pult. I personally think.
You actually got a lot of good
I did.
checks with it. Heatran, Mandibuzz, and you doubled up on the Dark type with Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, Grimmsnarl was huge.
Which I think is one of the steals of the draft, as I made very clear more than a few times during preseason voting. Grimmsnarl is 100% a T2 mon. It has the ability to set screens with Prankster, Sucker Punch, Spirit Break, Play Rough, Darkest Slayer for strong stabs. The offer immediate utility as well with special attack drops priority. On top of that, it gets Taunt, it gets Bulk Up, it gets Thunder Wave. This mon absolutely has so many ways to beat a team and cause problems, and getting in a tier 3 slot is criminal.
Even even like in Cam's team, you can get screens up and then like bring out Mega Metacham and then take a couple hits because of the screens and just start like blowing holes through things. Or Thunderwave, like imagine being able to like spread like paralysis and then bring in Metacham, outspeed everything and just kill everything pretty much.
Also, Mega Metacham, I think is a really good Mega, and a lot of people don't realize how strong it is.
Oh, they realize.
He gets base 600 attack if you just run like Jolly, which is just insane. And he gets I think he gets a really good move pool too. He gets all like the punches, Rock Slide, Bullet Punch, stuff like that.
It's not like great, but
yeah, it's alright.
For the mon it is.
It's not limiting. It's not limiting for it.
The problem, and again, like Nick said, you've got some status. You got bonds that can spread status, or with screens that really benefit it a lot. Because Metacham does not take hits well. It has a base 100 speed is no longer near the top end of speeds. It's all right, but it's easily outsped by Scarf, outsped by a lot of things that OKO it. So you gotta like play around those weaknesses and be aware of those weaknesses, and set it up for the opportunities to then get those easy kills. I know you mentioned Bullet Punch. My personal thing is I don't like Bullet Punch with Metacham. Zen Headbutt is usually going to hit just as hard, if not harder, anyways. It's really only good for priority, and most of the things that outspeed it, it's not going to kill anyways, unless it's severely chipped. So that's where I think one big thing is it suffers from, in my opinion, is priority and speed.
Yeah, that's fair.
It kills everything. So if it gets a hit off, so
we should probably just like speed through his team now because we have 15 others. But I just want to say that Mandibuzz and Grimmsnarl are probably like two of the best switch-ins of Dragon Bolt. And Cam just said, I'm just going to grab both of them. Like,
grab both of them.
And then he also has Alamola, which is one of the best Wishers. Piloswine, which is the best Pokemon. Heatran, plus Nihilego, plus Rotom. Like, there are just threats upon threats upon threats on this team. It's kind of crazy.
I like it. I really like it. Moving on to Matrix.
Threats. Yeah, speaking of threats, first 5 picks. Tell me what you guys think of this. Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Mamoswine, Mega Gallade, and Hydreigon. What are your thoughts?
And then he picked up Audino and just ruined the whole thing.
And Lantern.
We'll get to that. Let's talk about the first 5 picks. What do you guys think of those first 5?
Really good, obviously. I think Celesteela, Hydreigon, and Koko have really good synergy with each other, offensively. I wish Matrix's team had a little more bulk with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Audino's gonna do the job. Seismitoad is gonna do the job. It's a Seismitoad, but he doesn't get any recover. He just has to drain punch it.
Audino?
But he has Audino.
I feel like Matrix just has pivots and then like a Celesteela. And that's his bulk. And, and Gallade also, like, I know Gallade is like one of, if not the best Mega, but it just kind of feels like it was slapped on here, which isn't a problem because it's a Mega Gallade. But I feel like he could have gotten something better to fit his team
for the team. But it was just value at that point.
Exactly. Like Mega Gallade is still sitting there. You gotta take it.
with
Yeah.
the other 4 mons you already had. Let's why not add another thing that can just kill you at any moment.
Yeah. I do think he has a little problem with the same types. Like he has 3 electric types, 2 dark types. You know, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
2 ghost types. It's not that big of a problem, but it's just something that just kind of I see when I first look at his team. But if you have like a bulky team like Will, I feel like you're gonna have trouble with Matrix's team.
You can't switch into everything. Like,
Yeah. I think
sorry.
I think like the way you want to beat Matrix's team is like bulky offense, and I don't see him having enough switch-ins to take that offense, but also having the bulk to like take a few hits back from Matrix. So I think he's gonna, yeah, I think he's gonna have trouble with
So
that.
what you're saying, Nick, is bring my bulk.
No, that quote was so cringy. Oh my god. But
Wow.
I'll joke aside.
Cringe. Wow. You know what?
I called myself cringe. I hate the Apocalypse. Anyways, like
Apocalypse.
I feel like Chandelier plus Mamoswine are kind of like this is gonna be like a stupid thing, but I feel like one of them is like the physical version of the other, and one of them is the special version of the other.
No, that makes sense.
They both have the same speed. One of them can be you can run Scarf on both, and then obviously Bandit on Mamoswine and Specs on Chandelier. And they both have a little bit of like utility outside of that, but they're both like I feel like on his team you could just use them as wall breakers the entire time and then clean up with something like Mega Gallade.
Yeah.
His team just it hits so hard, or even like a Scarfied Dragon. Just wear things down with Mamoswine and Chandelier, and then just sweep through with Scarfied Dragon. It's crazy. The only problem that I see with this team is that I think Audino has to come like every single week, and that's not something that you want to bring all the time.
Well, I mean that depends on what he's going for. I mean, looking at his team, I don't see Audino and even potentially Lantern L was ever coming.
Hey, Lantern can come.
I thought those were and let me explain why. Look at his other 10 mons and tell me how those 2 even remotely fit into a team of 6 with them. Audino's the only one that kind of does with Wish Passing to something like Toad or Celesteela. I honestly think those were wasted picks by him. I know he grabbed it probably just out of habit for having some sort of bulk, but they don't fit on his team, and I think he'd be better served drafting something else. At this point, he's gone full force into this hyper offensive team. It's very clearly, as you mentioned, like you can wear teams out and then clean with like Dragon, Gallade, Coco, Scarf Mamo, potentially some setups, Celesteela, like away. Anything else, like Audino and Lantern fit into that style. They're gonna be just fish out of water.
Yeah.
That's the end of my thought.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well,
Let's not forget though that he has the Coco Raichu core. Go core.
Yeah. Raichu gets rising voltage this gen, so I mean that thing is just gonna repulse forever. Maybe we should have moved that up, to be honest, after I got rising voltage. Anyways, I kind of agree with you, Punk, but I also feel like he can bring just any of his 4 threats, and then like a Seismitoad for rocks, and then Audino, and then just swap out the threats every single week depending on matchup, and be fine. Unless he does
having used Audino, he is not. He's
bad. It's
He's
bad.
gonna bring that thing one time and realize how shit it is and drop it. Actually,
I'm surprised.
No, Matrix. He'll keep it, thinking he'll actually bring it again, and he'll never drop it. But he should drop it. He should drop it now before he finds out how bad it is.
He does like use bulky, fat, normal type, like low tier normal types with Wish pretty well. Like Licky was so annoying every single time I
think Licky has some offensive pressure. All Audino has is knockoff.
Yeah, that's true.
Which isn't bad, but Licky is.
I also don't get.
Better.
I don't get the Lantern pick either. Lantern is probably the most confusing. I don't get why you pick Lantern.
Did he get rising voltage? Did he get
He had the Seismitoad and a Mamoswine.
He got rising voltage.
We've already talked about this is a season of as many repeat types as possible, apparently.
Okay,
He's doing it well.
Let's go
Anyways,
on. Let's
hold
go on to Infinite. Let's go on to Infinite. Infinite
Alright,
was
well,
number
Infinite
2.
said Infinite said his own team was trash. I think we can just move
I
on.
don't
you
think
know?
his team's trash. I think that this Infinite being Infinite, because he does that every
Oh yeah,
season.
his team isn't trash.
Yeah, I really like Torn with Milotic. I really like how fat that is. And Milotic getting flip turn and Tornadus having U-turn. I think they're gonna have a lot of fun momentum spamming on teams. And then you add that with Magma Zone with Volt Switch.
I think Torn Milotic plus Mega Abomus now is really fat. Like in terms of type synergy. I don't think there's any like weakness that they don't. You know what I mean, like that they all kind of can't take on. Because Fire you have Melodic, Electric you have Abomus now. Ice you have Melodic. I guess a Freeze Dry would be kind of upsetting, but yeah, the bulk between those three is really good.
And like a strong rock type might be able to break it if he's not bringing Marble Scale Melodic. But I think he should bring it.
He also has a Latias, by the way.
Yeah, and
like on top of all that.
Man's got a Diancie.
He also decided to revive Rabo's core of Arctovish plus a Mega Abomus now from last season.
Yeah, last season. It worked well once. Isn't that right, Yod?
Against Yod.
Isn't that right, Yod?
No. Who did it work well against? I think it worked well against
Mr. Ben Yoder.
Mr. Ben Yoder.
Also, I think Heracross is a really underrated mon. This thing is really hard.
Spikes too.
It also got spikes.
It got spikes now.
Yeah.
It can kind of act like a budget Greninja from OU. Like you know if a switch is gonna happen, so you just click spikes to get a free layer up.
Yeah, it's gonna force a lot of switches too. It's really strong.
I agree with that. Heracross is a very solid breaker.
Nidoking, Heracross, and Obstagoon as his breakers. I don't like the speed. The speed on his team is really bad, like really bad. But that might be the only complaint I have. Like the speed is terrible. Outside of
I think it's fair that we still point out like he does have Latias or he does have NK, but Latias is rarely going to be running speed.
It could, but it's just
rarely. It's there, and we should mention it. Like it is there. He can run it. He's not going to in most cases. So it really leaves a huge gap between Entei and Tornadus.
Another,
I'm really susceptible to speed. Faster teams like Matrix is.
But another thing that I want to point out is like I don't like his removers. Torn's not gonna run Defog. Latias isn't gonna want to run Defog, and he has Claydol. I'm not a huge fan of that for his removers.
Yeah, I think he's not gonna want.
Latias is fine as a Defog.
Yeah, but it's not gonna run it.
Fine. That's what he's gonna be forced to if he wants removal. But like with boots now, I don't know. It's not that huge.
Yeah, but he still has Mega. He still has Mega Abomus though.
Yeah, the fact that his Mega is weak to rocks is a little concerning with the removal it has.
I think Entei's gonna want to run like choice band sets most of the time and not want to run boots. Of course, Tornadus isn't gonna care.
I feel like boots Entei doesn't hit nearly hard enough to do anything.
Yeah, and Arctovish isn't gonna want to run boots. It needs that choice band.
Or like a life orb or something here.
Yeah, to really
if only Zemus were still here.
If only. Z-Bite Entei. Oh.
Shut up. Okay, next up is Boss.
Anyways.
A blast from the past, Boss.
Boss was here for I think 3/4 of the season from what I recall.
I think he's talking about his team. Like his team was a blast from the past.
Yeah, his team looks very Gen.
I was going into it.
His team is very Gen 6, but you just put Primarina instead of Greninja. His team is very Gen 6.
We told him that he didn't have any Gen 8 mons, and then he said, "Oh yeah, watch this," and drafted Noctowl.
Well, you know, Nick, he is right. Noctowl was in Gen 8.
Okay.
You know.
His team's scary though. I feel like defensively, Mew is going to be forced to be defensive a lot of weeks because his only defensive mons are like Amogus and Donphan, and Magneton can be.
Magneton can.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nick, shut up. Weak to the two most common offensive types. No, that's not defensive honors.
It's okay. It can take hits, but it doesn't want to be defensive. You can say it like that. It's like a bulky wall breaker. So I feel like he's gonna have a problem with Mew having to be defensive every single week with like rocks.
Yeah.
There's only other rockers, Donphan and Infernape, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
And let's immediately talk about the fact that you mentioned he has a scary team. I mean, look at from D-Drill down to Haxorus, he's got 4 crazy wall breakers. But with that, he's got, I see 1 form of, unless we're counting Noctowl. Does Noctowl get defog? 2
Yes.
forms are removable?
Yes. I think so.
I know he's still gonna be learning the meta still, so hopefully he'll learn quickly about boots, because Weevil's almost gonna always have to run boots at this point. I know he recently ran black glasses, but that had more to do with Nick for some reason not bringing rocks. Loser.
I brought rocks. He just got rid of them.
Yeah. Especially
Anyways, so,
with a Mega Beedrill, you need to get rid of rocks. You need to get rid of rocks constantly.
He's gonna be feeling that pressure every week. Most teams are gonna have 2 to 3 rockers on their rosters, and are going to be bringing pretty much one of them guaranteed. And with Beedrill functioning best as a U-turner until chipping things down until it can clean, he can't do that. He can't let Beedrill shine. He can't let Weavile shine. He can't let Infernape, who also likes to U-turn in and out constantly, that doesn't get to shine the way it wants to. I think we'll quickly see changes in the early weeks as he realizes he needs more removers.
Yeah, he doesn't want to run Defog Mew too, by the way.
I was just about to say that he brought Defog Mew against me.
I honestly didn't know Mew got Defog. I thought he brought the Owl.
Week one, we already saw the problem in that, like, if you look at my team, Mew is really good offensively versus me, but he was forced to bring defensive because he needed to get rid of rocks and needed something as like some sort of pivot. His pivots were Mew and Kebia Berry Primarina, and it didn't really work. So like the bulk is really lacking, but between like Beedrill, Weavile, Infernape, Haxorus, and even like Taurus.
Taurus is good. Mismatches is a decent speedster with Nasty Plot and
Primarina is scary.
Yeah.
He's got offensive commands, which is very much like what he likes to do, but he did not draft to support them very well.
He also got Taurus.
Yes, as we mentioned, he did get Taurus.
And
he will be running special Taurus. I predicted 3 times, and I'm banking on it right now.
Yeah, he also did a good job with his types too.
Oh yeah, like his team isn't bad. It's just
he drafted the style wise. This would be a very good early Gen 7, Gen 16.
Yeah.
Would it be?
I think it would be fine in Gen 6.
Yeah, other than the removal, it'd be fine.
Just make sure Primarina's
I
Greninja.
feel like it'd be a little. Like, if this team had Greninja, it'd be a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
But like, the fact that Amoonguss and Donphan are the only quote-unquote like bulky mons, and Mew, but you don't really want to run bulky, are the only like bulky mons that he has. It's just weird. I don't like that.
Well, keep in mind, Gen 6 was a different meta. This would be pretty good. Let's keep moving though. We've talked about Boss quite a bit. We kind of ragged on him.
Yeah, we did. Sorry, boss. The team's not that bad.
Okay.
Ralph.
Okay, he's new.
So we're talking about
Welcome.
Raph.
Welcome, Raph.
R-A-P-H. There's no L there. He drafted. So to start off, he drafted one of my personal favorite mons in Tapu Fini, and Mega Lopunny in his first 2 picks, which I just absolutely love. He really helps keeping with Mega Lopunny healthy from with Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, stuff that really wears into it quickly. Along with that, Tapu Fini is deceptively good. People really like to think of it as a defensive mon, there for support and defog, when in fact it really is capable of running offensive sets, especially now they actually got at least some recovery in Draining Kiss, which is a huge get for a mon like it, which already was so hard to take down, so like it made Calm Mind sets that much more viable. So I'm really a big fan of his first 2 picks. I'm okay on the rest.
I think Boom is really good. I think people sleep on Boom still. He's the only grassy terrain setter with grassy slide, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because Bulu lost it.
I'm a little concerned that did bring 2 trains, and he didn't really bring abusers of those, but didn't draft any abusers of them.
Yeah, that's actually fair. Yeah, he doesn't have like a Halucha.
The most glaring thing is that there's like the gap from Rillaboom and Feeny to Crobat, like
And Low
the
Pony.
speed gap.
Yeah, and Low Pony.
Yeah, that is huge.
Nobody hits like 435. Crobat hits 394. I think Rillaboom is 30 like 317, something like that.
No, I think 306, 308. It's like a weird thing. And I do agree. Rillaboom's a good mon, but I question its fit on this team. Like Tapu Fini genuinely benefits this team quite well with Toxic and Willow prevention, but it's not like he had a ground weakness to begin with, and he actually weakened some of his own mons with Marowak and Nidoqueen and Torterra all needing being able to hit Earthquakes and Earth Powers. So I question, it's a good mon, and on its own, it's more than worth drafting, but in terms of the actual synergy and cohesiveness on this team, I'm not seeing much there. Also,
Rillaboom caps out at 295 speed, the same as Feeny. So from 295 to 394, there is nothing in between. And Meloetta.
Yeah, Meloetta, I think it's 306.
306 to 394, there's nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Again, I like a lot of his mons individually. It's just really interesting to see how he makes them work as a cohesive unit. His first 2 picks started off really well. I think he had Scizor maybe round 3, which fits pretty decently with that core. But I really think it falls off after that in terms of synergy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like I can't.
Maybe just as like a raft team, and like we just don't know him yet.
Yeah,
maybe this is like a perfect team for him.
We're not here to take that part into account. We're looking at what we do know objectively. Like this falls farther down the list in terms of like general cohesiveness and viability from what we can see on the screen.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any like standout weaknesses or anything. It's weird. It's a really weird team.
Reminds me a lot of some teams I used to draft. Like there's threatening mons there. Like that's Meloetta's scary. Centicorch is a scarier mon than people think with boots.
Mega Lopunny.
Mega Lopunny's obviously scary. I already went into Feeny Rillaboom with Grassy Glide, allowing it to run bulky sets.
Yo, this music's going crazy.
And not have to worry about killing things. Howitzer's genuinely a decent wall breaker with Mega Launcher. Like all these mons are individually scary mons, and some of them do work very well. It's just how does he make them work as a full team? And maybe he makes it work. We'll see.
Yeah, I
like the idea of one more thing. I like the idea of like a Misty Surge with all of these like physical wall breakers. Like
I do think that.
I like that because they can't get status, obviously. Well, Crobat can.
Wait,
nobody in Scizor. You know what I mean?
He doesn't have a dragon type. I just realized
he doesn't have a dragon type. He doesn't have a fairy type either. Or no, he has Feeny.
Come on, Nick.
just saying all these false things.
That was quite a journey there, Nick. All right. Any last thoughts before we move to Nico?
No.
Just have fun with it, Ralph. See how it goes, Ralph.
Alright, talking about Nico's team. I want
Nico,
to talk about
Nico.
One in particular. His name is Totodile.
Shut up. Nico's new. Nico is a really good player, from what we heard, and he's starting his season with us. And I don't know. His team looks really good, and then he said, "LOL, Grotto Totodile."
Listen, I respect the Totodile pick. He is following in my footsteps after I drafted Crocodile.
He beat you though.
I expect him to kill a Scizor with Totodile now. But looking at the rest of his team, we'll just ignore the fact that he has a Grotto and Totodile there for now. He actually has a very good team. He did draft 2 Steel types, which feels a little weird. You don't see that too often.
Well, it makes sense because he has a Mega Diancie.
He has a really good fairy dragon Steel core. Empoleon Metagross as your Steel types combined with Mega Diancie and Garchomp, which is pretty decent. Also like bounce speed-wise, bulk-wise, offensive capabilities. the utilities all three offer. You really do a really good job balancing those three core pieces of his team. With that, he did not draft a fire type. Doesn't really have a grass type, so he really did not do anything about his water fire grass core at all. And that could really come to hurt him badly in the season.
Yeah, I think he should drop Grottle for Tangela. I think that would be much better.
Drop Grottle over Totodile. Like
no, Totodile's a respect pick. Totodile's a respect pick. That's not going.
Also, this man he drafted 6 rockers, 7 if Grottle gets rocks. I don't know if it does. Half of his team gets stealth rock. I like that, I guess, but like.
Not to mention, he's got
it's just crazy.
Yeah.
He also gets toxic spice here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it is a weird team, but there's a lot I do like about it. And if he actually does make changes with Grottle and Totodile, I mean, it's only going to get genuinely scarier. There's some good value picks this season in Tier 5, I think, after our re-tiering of things, and if he decides to take the season a little more seriously, he'll really make this team scary.
I think Articuno's also a sleeped on Pokemon too.
I was just about to say, Articuno's ice type is a little meh, but I feel like it can really shine in some matchups, like
especially with Boots.
And now it's got Boots now. It doesn't have to worry about Rocks. And as we learned, I mean, in previous seasons, it's an occasional threat in random matches. I beat Rabo one season with it. Jed beat Manu of all people with it one season. It randomly shows up, and with Boots, that makes that likelihood even more of a likelihood.
And we haven't even really talked about like Zapdos, Buzzwole, Mega Diancie, Garchomp, Necrozma. All of them can do so many different things. Zapdos will most likely just be defensive every week.
Yeah,
but,
I think
Buzzwole,
it has to.
Mega Diancie, Garchomp, and Necrozma can do so much.
Necrozma's honestly one of the best mons in draft.
It's really hard to use though.
It's one of those weird mons that like in like laddering, it's really not good. It's not a good mon. But when it comes, for whatever reason, in draft, it really starts to shine. If Nico is as good as we've heard, I expect him to be able to really use Necrozma to its at least to somewhat decent capability.
So decent.
I don't want to listen.
I'm expecting good, but I guess decent works too.
I'm trying to make the English word. It was a struggle. I expect a lot out of him. I expect a lot out of Necrozma though, because I mean it's gonna be hard to prep for Necrozma. Also trying to prep for Diancie and Garchomp and Buzzwole.
The only like real issue I guess that I have for this team outside of Grottle and Totodile is that the speed caps out at Mega Diancie's, which is 350. So it's a little on the slower side, but like just the natural bulk that he can have while also running offensive sets. Like Buzzwole could be offensive and still start taking hits and start knocking out Pokemon, and the beast like everything on his team has that natural bulk combined with like offensive capabilities and stuff.
It's a very classic bulky offense. It's a bulky offense team.
It's pretty good.
It sucks to like that he's a little more worse for wear against Scarfers, but when you think about the genuinely fast Pokemon in draft, those mons don't do a whole lot to this team, you know. Especially with the removal of hidden power, something like Zeraora, it's not going to do much. It doesn't beat Garchomp.
It does.
Rough,
They can mess up Garchomp.
After a lot of shit, but standard.
Man got bulk up. You bulked that up on the switching. You bulked that up on a switching. LOL, Garchomp.
Alright. Bad example. But he's right. He's right.
Shut the fuck up. But the point is, like, you get what I'm trying to say, though. You get what I'm trying to say. Like, a lot of the I've never found speed to be that big of a deal. I think it's more important that you build a team that works well together, and his team does that. So he's weak to some faster mons. Those mons don't single-handedly beat him either. And it kind of almost makes prepping a little easier in my mind. He knows he's like, yep, I know I'm not gonna outspeed these things. Let's just outspeed the stuff I know I can, and put the rest into bulk and make everything that much fatter and harder to kill.
That's the only problem with like slower teams, is that on the reverse side of that, a mon like Zeraora can run very little speed and then run adamant and then be able to put the rest in bulk. And so like the speed is a bit of an issue, but like you said, speed isn't huge. It's not huge in draft, so it's not gonna.
Yeah, it really just depends how you build your team. He built a team that's bulky. It's not like he built a team that's like just shitty. It's not like he built. It's not like he built a team that had a bunch of offense but had really crappy bulk and crappy speed. Like he sacrificed speed for the bulk. And that's a trade-off that's reasonable to make.
Yeah. All right, we should probably move on because
Total Title got Dragon Dance. Okay, Robbo.
okay.
Robbo. A lot of people think he's got one of the best teams.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the best, but I think it's good. But I don't think it's the best.
Just Victini.
The wall breakers are insane, but I wish.
Dracovic is like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Dracovic gets Sand Rush and drafts Gigalith with it.
Yeah, he can run Sand Rush.
Table.
You draft the table. Oh yeah, okay.
I just think he's not gonna wanna run. I think he's like, the idea of Sand Rush is nice, but like I think you just want to go with Strong Draw most of the week. Like I don't see him too much bringing Sand Rush.
Correct, Cam, but I mean, there's gonna be a matchup where he's gonna be able to still run Banded, Sand Rush, and it's gonna work out just fine.
Yeah, but I think the other abilities is so much better for it that I don't think he's gonna really abuse the sand as much as he should or would have.
Just the fact that it's like an option against a speedier team, where that he can run, like a Scarf Dracovic does not outspeed Zeraora or Dragapult. So bringing it in the sand will allow it to do that and then knock them on out.
Yeah, and it would kill Zeraora and whoever.
So
you just said, but it would kill both of those with Vicious Strand with a choice band still. Even without Strong Draw. I agree. Strong Draw is going to be the most commonly run ability this season, but he's going to have opportunities to still run Sand Rush, as Nick mentioned, outspeed something like a Dragapult and a Zeraora that now Bandit Crunch, or not even Crunch, Outrage, and Vicious Strand would now OKO and get that opportunity that it wouldn't get otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Gigalith is just a good mon on its own. Like in sand, you can make that thing Spadef, and it can take so many hits. I've used it before. I think I used it last season. Okay. I think I used it either last season or the season before that, and it's so good. I really like Gigalith.
Yeah, it's really because honestly, it's starting to creep up there with Hippowdon, I would say, and being like the best sand center.
Well, I'd still say Hippowdon is better, but yeah,
it's creeping. It's really closed the gap, I think, in these last few seasons of draft. Hippowdon used to be far and away the best. I would argue though Gigalith has now passed something like even Tyranitar in terms of actual sand setting capabilities. If we're only discussing those two things, of course, there's a reason Gigalith is in tier 3 or 4. I don't know what tiers it's in now. But there's a reason it's there, but it's definitely one of the most underrated, and I would argue the second best sand center draft now.
Yeah. Another problem that I have with this team is just like no like hard special attacker. Like Victini can run mix, but it's gonna usually like it's like banded set, and then Dracovic is usually just gonna run banded. Where Bombi's not really that great of a special attacker. Mega Altaria is usually a physical attacker. I just feel like he should have like one hard-hitting special mon, like Chandelure that we talked about or something like that on his team. I think it would have made it a little bit better.
Keep in mind, Megatar did lose return, so I would argue it's almost going to be more special now, and it's a very threatening sweeper. Well, it was already a threatening sweeper with return, and it's still going to have that special capability as well.
Yeah,
Jolteon hits hard. It's just the fact that it has no coverage, so it's walled by a lot of things easily. But when it is able to get a hit off, it does hit pretty hard with specs.
It's just that like Kim's right in the sense that Mega Altaria, if it wants to be offensive, it's usually not going to be a special attacker. It's usually just gonna be physical Dragon Dance. But like support Mega Voltaria special is pretty good. And Ribombi, I don't really agree that Ribombi isn't a great special attacker. I think Ribombi is pretty good with like Quiver Dance and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get Quiver Dance. And I guess what I was trying to say with Mega Voltaria is that decision. The reason it ran physical so often was because it was so good as a physical sweeper with return. The return's gone now. I don't think you're going to see that. It's still it's a very underrated special sweeper, I guess is more what I was trying to get towards.
I think Body Slam works well for it on its own.
It does, but return was so much stronger.
Yeah, but you can pair with it. You can pair with it. Which I think is pretty big.
Like it's still going to be good as a Dragon Dance sweeper. But Fox Strike, that return was much better when you're trying to sweep.
Yeah, it was just so much. It was like the choice was obvious. Like most weeks, like you're gonna run Dragon Dance physical before you run Calm Mind or whatever it gets to set up on special side. But now that choice is a little more even, and I feel like Bravo has. It's not like it was a bad special sweeper to begin with. It was just the disparity between the two options was pretty big.
Anyways, let's get off of Mega Voltaria because we just don't.
Mega Voltaria is amazing.
I just want to talk about like things
you want to
like
talk?
Victini
Do you want to talk about Tornado's Eye?
I mean, we could.
Really. I don't.
It's got nasty plot. It's got decent coverage. There you go.
Yeah, but the poor thing has to hit hurricanes in the sand. That poor thing. That poor thing.
I don't think. Yeah, it does make the most sense. It's not gonna do that.
You can get the rain up.
Look at rain. To get to Nick's talking points, yes, we already discussed Victini. I don't think there's much to discuss there. It's a wall breaker. It hits everything hard. It has the opportunity to run special. It's insane coverage. It has a really solid ability that lets it hit these super powerful attacks much more consistently.
Yeah, Boots made it so much better too. Like Boots on Victini is so good.
Boots Victini is just another set in the arsenal for the Mon. But moving to his next two mons, though, I think is where Nick wanted to talk about. Is like first off,
Crocodile. Sorry,
ass Mon.
Crocodile. Were you trying to do Totodile thing, but you tried to do a crook?
Just shut up. Just move on.
Nick is dead.
Crocodile is, as me and Nick were very passionate about, a very, very underrated Mon in Tier 2. Honestly, I'll let Nick go into it. He was much more passionate at explaining it than me. But just talk about Porygon before that. That's a really solid glue Mon for Rabo right there, as a foundation of bulk with Ferrothorn. Only thing that really beats Porygon is Toxic. That's it, and a knockoff, I suppose. But those are really easy to predict when those are going to happen. So this Mon just switches in, eats a hit, talks to something else, recovers, switches back out, rinse and repeat. So I think that's a really great Mon for Robo to be able to have right there. It's an easy thing from Victini after V create to switch into Porygon. Same thing with Dracovish. When a threat comes in, Porygon is an automatic switch in. Takes a hit, Toxic's back, does whatever, and then allows Dracovish and Victini to come in again quite easily after either 1v1ing the threats or chipping them down to the point where those two can handle it.
Did you mention teleport? This thing gets teleport.
Oh my lord! So even easier. It's even easier to get express in.
Exactly.
Maybe we should be bumping this shit to 2-2. So yes, Porygon I think forms.
Yo, this move is going crazy again.
As hell, defensive backbone with Ferrothorn, and then you got Absol kind of coming up behind with Gigalith in that secondary slot. It's like Bravo's team is a very scary defensive core.
Turn that stuff down.
So I'm gonna talk about Crocodile real quick. This Mon, I can't believe that it was like getting voted down to Tier 3. Anyways. Crocodile adds so much to the team because I think outside of like Ferrothorn and Gigalith, it's the only rocker, and Gigalith isn't really like too keen on running rocks, and Ferrothorn can get away with running like spikes and stuff if Crocodile's the rocker. But it's also such a good lead Mon because it gets like taunt, it gets knockoff, the coverage is pretty good, it's fast enough to deal with things that might want to like bulkier Mons that might want to like lead out and get rocks up.
Good
so,
sweeper.
And it adds less to the team. Yeah, exactly. It could be Scarf, it could be Bandit, it gets Moxie, it gets Intimidate. So this mon is super good. I don't know
Shiny
why I
is
was getting
the shiny's pretty bad though.
but it's weak to fighting, and so is Porygon, and so is Avalok, and so is Ferrothorn, and so is Gigalith. So like all of his bulky mons, like the walls are weak to fighting. That's the only real problem that I really see.
He's got a Ribombee and an
That's-
Altaria.
I know, but
And
like
Tornadus.
Man said Ribombee.
Ribombee isn't
Okay,
gonna want to like.
but quad weak to a fighting type. It's
Yeah.
still only gonna take like
When you
20,
have
it's
like
not- and it gets
base
roost,
like
so, like
base 50 defense with like base 65 HP, he's
I
gonna
just-
hurt.
it gets reflect.
I just feel like a fighting type can put like fairy coverage on there. Obviously not a fairy type move, but coverage for fairy types, and it can break through his team kind of like easily. There's not much.
On like Mian Xiao is gonna cause a lot of problems for this team.
A mon like Mega Glade is gonna like destroy this team. It's but yeah, so there are some definite holes here. I just think that knowing Rabo, I'm not sure how threatening the mons are gonna be before he just wins the game because his offense is crazy.
Yeah. So just to be clear, before we move on, Rabo, Nick has issued a challenge with Mega Glade.
That is just not true.
And I expect some very amazing sets. And what I'm hearing is Magic should be scared.
Sure.
So
Okay, moving on to the Yad.
All right, we're gonna move on to Ziad.
We did this joke
listen,
2
we're
times.
Yod drafted his furry for Sony.
Yeah, he
Uh,
finally.
I am here. I have arrived.
Oh my god.
I will save this video. I will save this video. Okay.
Listeners, Yod has been here the entire time. He's just, I promised him I would say something that pissed him off, and there you go. I did.
I was eating a
he's
sandwich.
I was eating a sandwich.
For 40 minutes?
Oh, I had to make the sandwich too. Anyway. Okay. So let's
Talk about
look at this.
Talk about your team, yeah. Talk about your team.
I have Zeraor, Greninja, Hatterene, Snorlax, Stratagon,
we see it.
Mega
we see
Venusaur,
it.
Corviknight,
Yeah, we
Darmanitan,
see
Swampert,
the team,
Gothorese.
We see the team.
So,
We know-
what questions do you have?
Question.
What?
Why did you not draft Mega Camel?
That is true.
Yeah. Mega Camel is
that was
huge
a
for
big
you.
mon. That was a mon we were eyeing. To put it in election terms, it was a battleground mon.
Yeah,
We
and-
really thought it was going to swing to you. Why did
You
you?
also-
Why did it not? Why did it not? What
I
happened?
wanted to snipe Nick. Mega Venusaur.
Also, when you didn't draft Mega Camerupt, like you just decided not to draft a ground type for the rest of the draft. You have no ground type on your entire team.
Swampert.
I have a Swampert. Swampert is actually so good.
It
This
really
thing gets
is.
flip turn now, which is incredible. Even with like not a lot of attack investment, flip turn's still like chunking some weaker things, and just like rocks plus initiative is just pretty good.
I have a quick question, and I'm flipping gears here because I really just don't care about Swampert. Did you have
Whoa.
Snorlax because Nick sniped you with Blissey?
Yeah, so Nick decided to be a little bitch.
That's just untrue.
So I wanted Venusaur and Blissey because
So
I
did
wanted
I.
Blissey. Yeah, I don't care. What's it called? Yeah, I drafted Snorlax. I wanted Blissey because I wanted Stealth Rocks. As you can see, I only really have 2 rockers, Druddigon and Swampert. I think I also kind of struggle with
You have
hazard
spikes,
removal.
too.
I have spikes with ground. Yeah. My removal is Cragonal and Corviknight. Corviknight's pretty much going to be forced to run Defog every week, which is like what it does. But it really just like takes out the possibility of bulk upsets unless I want to bring Cragonal. I can, sort of play mind games with Hatterene magic bouncing, but it's not really. I switching Hatterene in and risking like a big hit is not something you want to have for it. Most of the time, I want to keep that thing in back as like a late game Calm Mind Sweeper with Draining Kiss, or just like Trick Room.
And yeah, that kind of leads into what some stuff I was gonna say is, your offensive capabilities are pretty solid here. I mean, Zera, Gren, and Darm is a very threatening trio right there, with Zera being able to run mixed. Gren can run physical, but it's going to be better as a obviously hazard setter as well as just general breaker special wise. And then there's Darm, who just kills things. But as you mentioned, your hazard removal is not great. So Corviknight would have been a fantastic fourth piece to that offense, being able to run bulk up with body press and brave bird, pretty much killing most everything that comes up against it. Obviously gets roost to heal itself after the brave bird damage. But then on the flip side, like with all that speed and stuff, I really like that you do have Hatterene and Snorlax together. Snorlax benefits a lot from Trick Room. It is a underrated breaker mon. So having the opportunity to run something like Trick Room into Snorlax, get a couple curses up or something. There really needs to be an extender for Trick Room, I think. But Snorlax has the opportunity to potentially set up or just straight from like banded sets and kill something. It gets decent coverage. With I think got Darkest Lariat this gen. I don't know if it got last gen or this gen. But with that, you get Body Slam, Earthquake. I can't remember some of the moves off the top of my head, but that's really threatening. Just there, you don't. People aren't going to notice that immediately and be worried and immediately start prepping for it, which leaves holes. You have multiple obvious ways to beat teams, and you can only prep for one of them.
You can't really ignore Snorlax ever, because if you ignore Snorlax and it gets up like one curse, you're not killing it. And that's good game right there. That's happened to me before. You can't overlook Snorlax, as tempting as it might be. You know, it seems like you're just gonna use Snorlax to switch in, eat attacks, force things out with like maybe Roar or other things. But if you don't prep for a curse set, you're screwed. And even having
curse rest in particular, because then he can't even toxic it out.
Yeah, I guess immunity.
I mean, I think rest and thick fat is probably always the option.
What I like about your team is that pretty much all of your offensive threats get momentum, like Zera, Aura, Gren, Darm. They all get like I'm gonna try to say, Volt Switch, U-turn. But
and Hat has teleport too.
Hat has Baton Pass. Doesn't get teleport, unfortunately.
Sure.
I thought it does get teleport.
That doesn't matter.
Not important. Hat's not being used as momentum here.
Corviknight and Swampert as well also can just like. I feel like you can easily just keep switching into your threats because of the momentum you have. And I don't think
easily get chipped and
exactly
your Pokemon in and get Venusaur in, or Venusaur in. And I don't know where I was going with that.
I do think your team's a little spike weak. Like just
spike
like
weak?
like normal spikes, because like I don't know, the Mons aren't gonna run heavy duty boots besides like Darm, and like 12% on like Zera, Gren, Hat, and every single time with U-turn. I don't know. I feel like you're a little spike weak.
Zera can afford to run boots, but like you're just hazard weak, I think, in general because of your lack of removal.
Yeah, I do think Corviknight is one of the best, if not the best, remover in the game. So I'm not like too worried.
Yeah, but like you said, it just completely removes the possibility of like a bulk up unless you're bringing Karago. But yeah,
unless you just say fuck it, I'm gonna kill everything before he gets the
which is a possibility.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is he could run just a bulk up set for the hell of it and not even worry himself about that.
No removal.
Yeah, just say screw it.
I simply don't.
Bring 6 setup mons. Now, I think I just have one more question here. I see you have a stock here, but did you have a mother that was different before? 'Cause I could have sworn I saw something else there.
It was an Absol.
Why is it not there still?
Demon is pretty bad.
I think Sock
so
was.
bad?
I think Sock's better.
By pretty bad.
I'm pretty sure I've heard Absol's pretty good. I'm just wondering why do you think it's?
I don't know who told you that. So
all right.
actually, no. Hang on. I have a point here. Absol Let me look it up. Pokemon Showdown.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you don't
Jesus
have a fighting type before you
Shut
get
up.
Absol.
So base 65 HP. That's pretty bad. Base 30, 130 attack. That's good. Base 60 defense. Base 60 defense. Base 75 special attack. Base 60 special defense. Base 75 speed. This thing is so frail. It is always getting killed before it gets an attack off. Don't even get me started on Mega Absol. This thing for the value. This thing for the value is probably one of the worst megas of all time. Worst mega of all time. You're not gonna get a kill with this thing without you dying first. 115
Can we
speed is
kick
nice
Yacht
and all,
from
but
the call?
let me just hear me out here. So many Scarfers are just gonna
You're getting loud.
This thing is truly awful. Mega Absol. I don't know who would draft this thing, and I'm ashamed to even be tangentially related to it, having Absol on my team at one point in time. Words cannot describe how much I hate Mega Absol, and Absol have a shiny of it in Pokemon Go, but it's just a pretty bad Pokemon as well.
So how do you feel about Gothrita?
Gothrita? Oh, this thing is AIDS. This thing is actually just so annoying to prep for, because you can not choose to not prep for it, but you literally, like, if your wall gets trapped, you're not Shed Shell, you don't have momentum. Even if you do have momentum, you get taunted. Like, you're just gonna get PP stalled, and your wall's getting killed so that my Darm, Zera, or Gren can break.
Okay.
Anyway, so lesson here, guys. Draft Webs with an Absol, and it'll be really good.
No.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Mega Venusaur before we move on? Because we didn't talk enough about Mega Venusaur.
What's there to talk about?
Yeah, this thing is pretty much the opposite of Absol. All of his stats are good.
Mega Venusaur is so good.
It's so good. It is amazingly good. Thick Fat is literally the best ability probably could have gotten. It's so bulky. It's actually not that slow.
It's not slow.
Especially for what it wants to be. It is not slow at all for what it wants to be.
And it also hits hard. Like,
yeah, it gets.
It got Earth Power, and I don't know why I said it that way.
Earth Power is actually huge. Earth Power is actually really huge because most Steel types can't beat it 1v1 now. Like Skarmory can still beat it, but like Steel Excess not beating it anymore.
I don't think Skarmory beats Mega Venusaur 1v1.
It is pretty much exactly like Absol but better.
Okay.
How is it exactly like Absol but better?
Well, Absol's bad.
Because
good.
it's better. so
anyway.
Anyways, guys, that was it for Yad. He's gonna go make another sandwich.
He's gonna go make a sandwich for another hour.
Sammy time.
Okay. Oh, Nick, you have to fix
that's gonna be the mantra of this video now, isn't it? Sammy time.
You have no. Nick, you have to fix Ziad's team. Is there
just delete it. It's awful.
Oh no, never mind. I thought I said rapid for a second. Never mind. We're good.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, thank you.
Why is the whole team gone?
Please.
His team just got deleted.
His team just got Thanos.
Where'd my team go, dog? Where'd my team go?
He's actually here?
Yeah, I've been waiting.
What the hell?
He's been in the shadows.
Bro, I wanted to be a part of this. Crazy.
Okay.
Did Yad put the team back?
It's there. His team's back.
It's there.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just here to answer the question. I'm not gonna do what Yad did.
Anyways, looking at his team, as Cam wanted to point out to me really randomly early in the draft, because Yad copied my team exactly from.
That was Yad, not me.
Sorry, Yad did. Because he has their Shifu and Florges and nothing else. So carbon copy of my team.
Well, I wasn't even a part of that league, so.
No, he's joking.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Ziad, you're pretty quiet, Ziad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me get my headset. Hold on.
Okay.
Anyways, moving through his team in a legitimate
I really like it.
fashion. Yes, I mean it's a pretty solid team.
Really slow though. Really slow. I wish it was faster.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty obviously why he drafted Decavolt there. He needed some sort of speed control because he does have pretty big gaps. Mons like I'm not saying these mons are necessarily threatening to his team, but mons like in that 339 range, 348, as well as in that like 361 range, like Mega Dancy type of mon speed tiers are going to cause problems with him if he doesn't get webs up.
Well,
Because Urshifu doesn't want to run Scarf, in my honest opinion. It wants to be able to run Adamant, Band. It wants to run Bulk Up instead. It really
Scarf is
wants to
still
take
good
advantage
though.
of the fact. What?
Scarf is still good though. Don't.
It's a good. I just think it's. I think it's a little overrated for what people think. I think it's personally. I think it's its third best set. I think its best set is Banded. I think its next best set is being able to run some sort of setup with Bulk Up.
Here's my response. I know I struggled with the speed tiers. I did. That's why I took Landers high at the end of the day, because there's not a lot of mons between the 101 and the 115 speed zone, or the 117 because Salazo. Like, yeah, there's like about what 50 Pokemon, but only like 12 of them have been drafted, and I don't think that's a huge issue for my speed tiers, just because of the fact that, like, I don't think I struggle because they can't run attacking natures. They're all forced to run Jolita and like Intimid. Just because I drafted Landorus I because he's a base 101, not base 102. So it kind of causes people troubles. But yeah, I do have an issue with the speed tiers, but it's not as crazy as it's not as crazy as it looks like on paper, if that makes sense.
I think dropping Vanillix and taking Landers high was smart because of the speed tiers.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, I wanted to draft both, but that's where I got messed up because my points weren't updated. That's why I was like, oh wait. And then like I was like, I wanted to get Cryogonal, and that's when Yod sniped it. Because I thought Yod was gonna take Frostlass, right? So I was like, oh, Cryogonal's perfect for this. I get an extra spinner on the team. And then Yod took it, and I was like, well, you know what? The second Ice Rapid Spinner after Avalok and Cryogonal is Sandslash, and Sandslash gets rocks.
I think a bigger issue for the speed tiers is like
The
mid.
lower speed.
Yeah, like Goodra is the only thing there.
There's a big
Hey, don't diss my baby Serena.
There is a big gap between Serena and Vikavolt. I agree with you there.
Yeah, so the things can just run. Like I'm trying to think of a mon that fits in there. There are a lot, obviously, because a lot of mons are like kind of
Megavina
in that area.
Megavina is a perfect example. If a Yod, for example, wanted to run something offensive, that would cause a problem. Being able to run something in there naturally.
Yeah. I think I managed to mix up the upper speed tiers a lot better by picking up Mega Pidgeot and Landers towards the end.
Yeah, I also your removal is a little. I think you already know that your removal is kind of meh. You just kind of Sandslash and Florges and Lando, I think, right?
And Pidgeot and Serena.
Don't use defog Mega Pidgeot.
I don't think Mega Pidgeot and like something like Landorus.
Here's what you do. You get someone to draft Mega Aggron and to get them to EQ your Pidgeot.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. The worst play of my career.
That was against Infinite, right? 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, that was against Infinite last season. But yeah, Webs plus Webs plus Urshifu, I feel like we've talked about how bad, like the badness of your team. So I think you talk about the goodness, and Urshifu plus Vigavolt is super good. Yeah, I know. I was like, what am I talking about?
Unless I get critted turn 1. Unless I get critted turn 1, just saying.
That's okay. I also think Melmetal under Webs is actually really good too.
Yeah, you can probably run some speed.
It'll be really helpful for dealing with some of those Pokemons better. Those slower Pokemons that now might even have to run speed so it can still outspeed Melmetal. I'm not saying most people will do that, but they shouldn't. But it's a thought that I don't people have to worry about. And I was gonna mention Melmetal as well. Like you got a faster breaker in Urshifu, you got a slower breaker in Melmetal. It kind of really helps out a lot. Where like I said, you can run Scarf Urshifu to help speed control some of the faster mons as well as Webs. But on top of that, you also have Melmetal, which prevents something like a Hatterene Trick Room setup. Because you don't want that thing getting to be able to move first with double Iron Pash.
Or Jed's team. The whole thing.
Yes. We'll get to that. Anyways, overall thing I wanted to mention is I'm very interested to see how you do with Melmetal. Obviously,
you saw game
is a mod that's
you saw game
very good. I did not watch the first game.
Oh, okay, well,
Anyways,
I
it's a very good mon, and it breaks very well, but it also needs a lot of support. It's not something that just naturally 6-0s by itself.
100%, 100%. Everyone's gonna be running Rocky Helmet every week against me. And it's gonna be a pain to go through all of that, especially
Exactly.
when Florges is my only bush passer, which is not bad because Florges is one of the better bush passers. Like in the mid tiers, I think I'd say.
Yeah, it's
Was
tier
like
3 for a reason.
tier 3,
It's
yeah.
there, and that's why I fought for it.
Honestly, I kind of like that because my team kind of splits in half. Like I know it's a big issue with the mid speed tiers, but I think it splits in half because Vikavolt kind of helps the faster mons with the webs, and then at the same time, if any time, like let's say Will's team, I'd like to run the opposite in Trick Room. I can still go in with that because I have Vikavolt, Melmetal, Dusknoir. Like they go in, and if I want to bring Sandslash one week, that could work as well.
Yeah.
I
I just
kind of like that. Like I see a lot of flaws in my team. That's also because like I got sniped quite often this season, like in the draft. Nikki knows because me and Nikki built a couple fucking teams throughout the draft, and they kept getting sniped.
Yeah, both of our we had like 3 preliminary teams. We got sniped through all 3 of them.
Me and Nikki just bro, I'm like, yo, let's help each other with backups, and they just kept getting sniped left and right.
Yeah.
Like my first speed control mon was Cinderace. Nikki took it. I wanted to get Arcanine, got
bad.
sniped. And then like the only fire type I was left with to help my speed tiers was Salazzle, which is not bad because it does break fairy the FDS cores in the league.
Yeah, Salazzle is just a very one-dimensional type of
But that's
mon.
but that's the thing.
Frustrating with it.
Like most of the time, it's gonna be a Specs or a Nasty Plot set. I don't think I'm ever gonna like my style of playing. I don't think I'm ever gonna bring Subtoxic.
Bro, Subtoxic is so good.
I know,
Yeah,
but like
Subtoxic's
everyone
really
knows
Okay,
my.
actually, really quick question. I've been wondering, can Salazzle poison types?
No.
It can
Right?
poison it can.
Yes,
It can.
anything.
God, I've been losing random bats because of this. I couldn't remember. God damn it.
Like the thing is, like it's just you know my style of playing. I'm more of an aggressive player than like running Stolly and bulky.
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so aggressive, guys, that he runs Calm Line specs. Just saying. He's that aggressive.
Big dick, bro. Big dick. You have to go. You know. Fuck you, man.
I really like the idea of like Slowking teleporting into things like Urshifu, Megapigia, and Melmetal. I think those 3 are gonna be so good together because they just kind of break for each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, I think I did a good job bringing lots of pivoting mons like Landers U-turn, Pidgeot U-turn,
Yeah.
Serena U-turn, Vikavolt Volt Switch, Urshifu U-turn, and Slowking teleport. That's like 6 of my mons all can pivot in and out. So most of the times I have 3 or 4 mons that can pivot into my 2 main sweepers. And I think I'm just gonna bring up today's match. Like I think I did a decent job with that. I was just still getting used to the team, right? Like I don't think any team can be able to just sit there and take a wicked blow followed by a double iron bash, just back and forth. You know what I mean?
And a Hurricane coming from Megapigia.
And then at the end of the day, like once everything's at mid range, if Urshifu and Melmetal fail, or like Pidgeot comes in and just hurricanes everything. It just who's stopping him? Who's stopping Pidgeot? You need a Scarf Mon to fucking stop me.
Even something like Goodra. Goodra can do so much. Goodра's such a good mon.
run Life
one
Dew
of the-
on it. It worked for me one week.
One of the
And the potential of Landorus Eye. You guys are like, it's a rocker, it's a defogger. I can run Scarf, I can run Bandit, I can run Calm Mind Sweep, I can run Rock Polish, Weakness Policy. It can do anything. So like that's the thing is, I didn't just draft it for like the speed tier. I also wanted to be at the back of people's minds. But like, oh shit, he also has that sweeper at the back that can just come in and do anything. It's like Robbo's team where you guys were saying how like he has the Gigalith. Like it's literally, I think its main purpose there is just to scare people from Sandstorm. Like Bandit, Sandstorm, Dracovic. I just wanted to have that mon on my team. It's like everyone's like, oh, let me prep for Melmetal or Shifu, and then they just see Landers, and they don't know what to expect from Landers because like even without sheer force, it still packs a punch.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is that like outside of maybe Slowking and Florges, the only like quote unquote bulk on your team is just kind of natural bulk, I think, because you're not going to be wanting to run that much bulk on other mons.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. It could be seen as a positive. Like you have natural bulk that you don't really have to invest in, but I'm not sure how well your team will eat up hits.
It's honestly the whole reason with that, it came from a point where I've used some of these mons before. like I like using new mons every season, but I like Vikavolt and Dusk Noir are the main two that I've used before. And Vikavolt, from what Manu proved in the Galar season, that thing just doesn't want to die.
Yeah, Vicavolt's good.
Like Vikavolt doesn't want to die, and Dusk Noir too. Like I know I only have to pain split, which just sucks sometimes, but with the recent buff of Poltergeist, that thing is scary.
Yeah.
Like at the end, like I wanted to try and draft like a fully physical wall because I was only able to get mainly special walls. Like, Slowking is more of a special wall because of its stats, but like I'm gonna be running it mainly physical this season. I just struggle to find like an official like base 100 something physical wall that can recover because my main thing right now is Melt Metal, and we saw it today with the Banded Earthquake from Flygon.
And Melmetal's crazy. It just needs support. It can't be like the star of the show.
I need to be playing very well with it with Florges on the side.
Yeah. Okay, I think that'll wrap it up. Your team's pretty good though.
I don't know. I just wanted to try some new shit to be honest.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't get crit more often.
Good luck
So
with
much
it.
pain.
Good
so much
luck
pain.
with it. Have a good season, my man.
Or don't.
Thanks, King, or don't. I've been having a pretty rough past couple of seasons.
Okay, let's
We'll
go
see.
over. Let's go on to Will, who has
Hey, Pockets, if I drop out, you're taking my spot.
No.
Let's move on to Will. He has 3 starters. 3 starters.
Yeah, so I think what's more important here, I want to talk about one mon
Hey.
immediately. It is the best mon in the fucking draft, Reggie Alecki. I'm gonna drop some stats on you. 8 2-hit KOs, Tyranitar, and Giglith. Insane.
What about
Pile
Diglett?
swine. What about swine? What about swine up?
What about Diglett?
What about swine up?
All right, let's go. I'm taking over for the other pussies because all of their internets went out and I have hacked Cam's
That's
computer.
not
So
That's true.
it's like I can still hear them.
Yod actually begged
So-
to do this one. He
Yod-
was like on
Yod.
his knees,
So-
sucking Nick's dick.
so I'm-
Yod asked me to use my programming skills to help her out there.
We
That's
also
on me.
got.
Well,
Where are we starting?
I'm
these with?
going to deafen my.
What
Okay, so we're moving on to. We're talking about Reggie. We were talking about Reggie Lecky before the cut. Pac and Nick, do you want to go into Reggie Lecky?
Yeah, we'll try and pick up where we left off before Cam
Hey.
went out and we had no idea. So basically what we're trying to say is this: Reggie Alecki gets walled so easily. Please tell me that wasn't Cam.
That was Ziad. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh, Ziad.
Okay, Reggie Alecki does get walled very easily by ground types. Game Freak and Nintendo kind of screwed him over in that regard. However, it's still, as we were mentioning before, and I don't remember the exact phrasing I was using in depth, but it still forces prep. Even when that ground type doesn't have a good match against all of the 11 other mons, it still has to come, because else Reggie Alecki causes major issues.
100%.
So it's a very one-dimensional mon. It's with a little utility with screens and rapid spin, but it's a mon. It's super dangerous with as one-dimensional as it is.
Yeah.
And
Especially-
as Nick mentioned, Pincurchin exists with Rising Voltage on both Reggie and Pincurchin, which both shouldn't be underestimated.
Yeah. I also like Reggie Lucky because even if you do have a good ground type versus Will, if it gets knocked out early, where they do like poor management, Reggie Lucky can go off. Especially where you're like, okay, this spawn is just for Reggie Lucky, then it dies. Then Reggie Lucky can just go LOL, lol, and then kill your whole team.
And Reggie, big thing about Reggie is it doesn't need speed investment like at all. It just barely outspeeds what Coco without anything.
The hell was I talking to myself?
Yeah, you deafened, yeah.
Oh no! You missed me. I recorded a whole team recording video for Will. All right, next team.
What? We're
No,
not
we're
even
not-
done.
we're
We're not even done. Okay,
Well,
was-
I just gave a thorough analysis on this guy's team.
talk about Mega Garchomp was T-Tar.
Hold on. What I was gonna say about Will's team is that even though he has Reggie Lucky, I feel like he should have brought more threats towards ground types. Like he only has for Alligator and Sceptile that hit super effectively with Stab. So like Reggie Lucky is gonna have a hard time.
Fire type, so.
That's
Yeah. Look at this guy's ground resistances. It's Skarm, Uxie, Sceptile.
Scarman, Yuxi are says
Uxie, this man said
dumbass.
Uxie.
Yeah, it's now looking good, Will. You got Embor, Tyranitar, Cobalion,
He's very
Toxapex,
weak to ground.
Pincurchin,
Very weak to
Regieleki.
ground.
Yeah.
I think he forgot Ground was a type when he started drafting. He said I'm gonna draft Regieleki. This thing's weak to nothing. Nothing can live this guy's hits.
Yeah, I realize now looking at my team,
Poor Will.
ground types are always going to have a good matchup against Will.
Poor Will.
But I mean, he did get some good value though. I mean, as a whole, his team still built pretty decently, other than that one glaringly obvious weakness. He's got one of the best, I still think of Steel in Skarmory's tier 2. He also has Spralligator, which is criminal. That's in tier 4.
Steel in Skarmory? A steel? Sorry.
It was funny until you said something, Nick.
We need to talk about the. We need to talk about the Garchomp with Tyranitar. Like,
Oh yeah,
Mega Garchomp under sand does ooh la damage. The man goes crazy.
with a scale shot too now.
Oh,
I do think though, like Yad mentioned, we're going to see some sort of change here to grab some sort of mon that can actually wall steel types or ground types besides Skarmory. Because otherwise, Will's going. You literally just slap a scarf on a ground type, and it just kind of
what
wins.
if you
with
just bring like
Man, bro,
Smackdown?
my scarf Swamper looking real nice against this team.
Like Zygarde just comes out turn 1, clicks substitute, and just wins. Like
Sub D-Day and Thousand Arrows, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than this team, you know, having nothing for ground types,
Arguably the best type in draft.
you know, it's pretty. I think it can do a lot. It has a lot of, you know, threats.
Yes,
It's at
Sceptile.
Discord. It's very good.
Yes,
Class
Sceptile.
Mega Garchomp is first off big Gen 6 energy, but like a very classic core right there, and that's going to do him well.
yeah, I like the unburden capabilities with like Sceptile plus Pincurchin. So that's kind of cool. It's like a little niche you can bring. Also, just like the offensiveness is
Offensiveness.
like Mega Garchomp, Tyranitar, Embor, for Alligator, Sceptile, Regieleki. His team hits so hard.
But
He
the most
really-
offensive thing about this team though is the fact that he loses to a Swinub.
Yeah.
That is true.
Just why not? Okay, what's going
Oh,
on?
hold up, let me get Jax's team.
It's right
Okay.
there.
Okay, since you didn't do Will's team, you can
Okay.
yourself.
Yeah, I muted myself and then gave a thorough analysis of his team.
Yeah. You said I'm gonna deafen myself, and then you just went out.
Yeah, you said I'm gonna deafen myself, then deafened yourself, and then forgot you deafened yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Jax's team. I'm honestly pretty surprised at a Salaman's 1B pick. I feel like at 1B, that's. I feel like that's a little too much for to pay for Salamence.
Sorry to couldn't hear what you said. 1B, right? Nick, does Jax get any points for 1B Pokemon?
No, actually, no.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Just wanna
I'm
make sure we're on the same page about that. Because
positive.
I'm pretty sure previous seasons we allowed it. What happened? Here?
Positive.
I'm just
100%
confused. I don't
positive.
know the joke.
It's no points. The joke is that I told a bunch of people that they don't get points for 1B mon, but they do. So
Basically, Nick rigged the season.
Nick
I
cheated.
did.
Sorry, yeah. Please continue.
Yeah. I know for a fact Jack had no plan with this draft, and I'm not saying you can tell, but I mean, he has the powerful Morning Sun synthesis, you know, combination with sand, which is doesn't work.
Go.
Also, he can get that triple synergy, Delmi synthesis, Arcanine, Morning Sun. Scizor also gets Morning Sun, so if he wants all his recovery moves to be reduced by half, he could run Morning
Why
Sun
don't you just
Scizor.
run Roos Mega Scizor?
No.
Well, no, that doesn't have synergy. That's not the synergy. But on a, like, you know, jokes aside, I think Salamence with boots, it's pretty good. I think this team's like offensive capabilities is going to be what carries it. looking at each of his individual pieces, like Arcanine, Hippowdon, Dhelmise, like those are actually pretty good defensively. I forgot to mention Mega Scizor. These are all pretty good defensively, but I really just feel like his team is more hindered by sand than helped.
But
He has Stoutland. He has Stoutland, but like that thing's shit.
No, Stoutland Choice Band is actually good in the sand.
Like yeah,
It's
I
good
know.
it's good if you're going for cheap sand. He spent a high pick on Hippowdon, who's one of the main reasons you draft Hippowdon is to run legit sand, and well, Excadrill is still available.
Yeah,
I do agree though. I think from a standpoint of like just looking at general type synergy, he did a really good job. I think. I mean, FDS is there, Firewire Grass is there, Psychic Dark Steel or Fighting rather is there. Psychic Dark Fighting is there. He's got a strong Ghost type in Dhelmise, which I also think is a steal in T4. It gets Poltergeist now. I don't know why it has 3 reliable stab attacks. How the hell did that thing stay in Tier 4? But yes, he's hindering his team with his free picks, was where things kind of didn't go great with him drafting Hippowdon and Stoutland, which severely hinders Arcanine and what was the other one that got synthesis with Dhelmise, their capabilities to run recovery, which Arcanine desperately needs. Dhelmise not as big a deal, but it does limit you in prep.
I don't think it's that big of a deal because like he can just not run Sandstream and Hippowdon. He doesn't have to bring Sandstream. But like if you were to ever run Stoutland, then yeah, I guess so. But
Yeah,
I don't think it's
a limiting factor in prep. It may not be a huge limiting factor, but it is a limiting factor all the same, and it doesn't make much sense from a logical standpoint, because what's Hippowdon's other ability even? Hippowdon have another ability.
It does. It's like Sand Force, so it'd be a useless ability. I don't agree. I don't agree like with him drafting it, to be honest. But in terms of like Synthesis and Morning Sun, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal because he's not going to run Stoutland plus Hippowdon that often. But
Yeah.
I just don't think he should have drafted it.
But I also still think Sandstorm is just a nice thing to have because it offers chip, and that's super important. I mean, a lot of his mons don't kill a whole lot from Hole. They need that D-Dan setup, or they need some chip to kill. So I think that he's still gonna want to run Sandstorm, I think, more often than not, just because for that little extra chip. So I mean, I agree a lot with what Yad said. I think there's a lot of good stuff here. There's a lot of questionable stuff here. And as Jax was very confident in the chat today, he believes he is going to win the league with Garbodor as his kill leader.
No, he says Garbodor is going to be. He's going to say it's the kill leader, not for his team, for the entire.
Yeah, he just said it in general.
Yeah, that's what I meant in general. Kill leader, Garbodor.
Garbodor's okay.
Get that drain punch,
gunk shot?
Drain punch gunshot combo, and that's it. That's all it's got.
Doesn't it get like knockoff?
Does it? I have no idea.
Can we talk about like the good things about his team?
Oh yeah, okay. I was trying to get there. He has Salamence, Azumarill, Mega Scizor,
Gen 6,
Thundy Eye. Those are incredible breakers. Mienshao I overlooked. Incredible like offensive presence on this team. I just think what he's gonna struggle with is defense. But yeah, Moltres Galar, I'm excited to see how that thing's gonna do. I feel like with it'll be pretty good because its speed tier is decent. So as like a wall, this thing, if your opponent goes first, doesn't kill you, but knocks you down low enough for Berserk, you're getting like a pretty strong attack off.
Yeah, it just sucks it didn't get any recovery. That's
hey, if it gave it Roost, then damn.
But no.
He doesn't have a Wish Passer either, does he? I don't think so.
Salamence.
Does get Wish.
I've used Wish Salamence before.
Yeah, because you use every offensive mon.
That's
actually. I mean,
okay,
he can actually run anything on his team. Wish if he's willing to forfeit the match.
Wow.
He could run Wish Moltres if he wants. It's just that he's
Yeah,
gonna have to force
He's
it.
gonna lose, but
it's gonna be a loss.
That doesn't.
he could, yeah.
Doesn't Mesper get like Healing Wish?
Mesper does get Healing Wish, yes.
There you go. You
Um,
can use
but yeah.
that.
I like his team. I just feel like it doesn't like
Synergize.
the wall breakers. There are like 2. I just don't think.
What do you mean?
I don't know. What?
I think Mega says just a wall breaker. Especially
It
with dual
could
wing
be.
beat.
I
Still
wouldn't
wouldn't be
classify
really-
Scizor as a natural wall breaker because I mean its best attacks are Bella Punch and U-turn, which obviously U-turn doesn't get that benefit, and
But dual
Bella Punch
wing
is nice, but it doesn't hit a whole lot that break.
I would say that Azumarill.
It needs, yeah. Azumarill a little bit more, yeah. Again, pretty heavily reliant though on Belly Button to truly break most things.
I think he'll be okay, but I don't know. It's just it seems really strange, and the speed is not good.
Yeah.
That said perfectly at the beginning. Jax had no plan going into this. He kind of just drafted what he felt like drafting, and we'll see how it works out. There's some good
Manu.
things. There's some things to like. There's some things not so much to like.
Manu
And
time.
that's all the stuff. We'll go to Mono.
And that's fine. You know, we're here to have fun.
Manu
Alright,
drafted a team that said, "LOL, this is a Manu team." Like
He always takes.
he always has to take a Flincher. He has to take Vaporeon. He has to take Flygon. And that's exactly what he did again.
There we go.
He got a Flincher. He has 2 of them now.
Yep.
And then he got Vaporeon, Flygon, which is not bad, by the way. I really like his
He also-
team.
He also really likes Blacephalon, and he took that too. So
Not the
Like-
one mod he did like last season.
That's his like only like Blacephalon's his only like wall breaker though, the immediate wall breaker, which could be a problem.
I don't really. The rock situation, like the hazard situation, is also kind of weird. Like Jirachi, Fortress, and Aerodactyl. Jirachi,
And Flygon.
no, Flygon doesn't get rocks.
It doesn't.
No, but Jirachi and Aerodactyl don't really want to be running rocks that much. If it was regular Aerodactyl, I'd say then he'd be a little bit better because regular Aerodactyl actually likes to run rocks. But he had the same problem last season, where he didn't like draft anything in the hazard department.
He got a bunch of monkeys.
He does have a bunch of monkeys.
M-Onkeys. M-Onkeys.
Monkey.
Yes, I just wanted to shout out him for drafting Primate. That's the first time I think I've seen that mon drafted in this league. Definitely one of my favorite Gen 1 mons, so, you know, just...
I
pretty
also
cool.
think-
And it's actually got really decent... it's better mon than it looks. It's one of those mons that looks like shit on paper. It's actually better than people think. It's got decent coverage with... especially... And guys... What is its build? It's got Anger Point, low-key, kind of would just be fun to have happen if it actually worked. What else does it get? It has some decent abilities.
Doesn't it get like a anger point?
He gets Anger Point and what else does it get? Hold on, what are Primate's abilities?
Got it. What is M Monkey
Um,
Primate?
Vital Spirit, Anger Point, and Defiant. Defiant's a
Defiant's the only good one.
Yeah. I really like Zarude because no one drafted it last season. Was it on the tier list last
No,
season?
it was not. On the
No,
tier list.
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
Back.
But yeah, I want to see how that mon does, and I like the combination of what am I trying to say? Of Togekiss, Blacephalon, and Jirachi. I just feel like those kind of synergize well together.
Yeah.
And back. Apologies. I thought I clicked open a new tab. I did not.
I wish. I mean, like, I think Vaporeon is really good. He even like got even better this generation. Flip turn Vaporeon with Wish is gonna be, I think, huge for Manu. He has a lot of momentum on his team, and I think flip turn Wish Vaporeon is gonna really help him out.
With the way he plays Vaporeon, that's really just annoying
Yeah.
that now gets momentum. So
I've seen this guy run no attack like Vaporeon many times. I don't think he's gonna run flip turn straight up.
It would be
The
good
way
though if
Monty
he does.
plays, I don't think he will.
He
He'll bring it
should.
once. He'll bring it once.
I mean, he used
The fact that
Baton
now
Pass
he's got a threat
Sylveon.
for it, like,
He used Baton Pass Sylveon last season.
He also used Baton Pass Togekiss in game 1.
guys, Baton Pass though doesn't do damage, is what Yab's saying.
Oh.
Oh, so it has to do no damage.
Well, it
No
doesn't.
dam-
A flip turn can't flinch, can't burn. Manu's really got nothing to rely on there.
Manu is gonna run Baton Pass Vaporeon instead of Flip Turn Vaporeon.
Against a water absorb team, that's not actually bad. But
against Toad.
Toad.
But I think I forget who mentioned it, but said he only really had, maybe it was just used to mention, maybe it was special wall breaker. I think it was Cam, and maybe I misheard as just general or wall breaker. But Zarude is a very solid mon breaking wise, especially against a team that otherwise really gets shit on by bulky waters. Zarude is one of the best breakers in the game at that.
It does have its weaknesses though.
Sure,
Yeah.
but like it obviously has weaknesses. Obviously, U-turn being the most apparent one. But just pointing out, like Zarude single-handedly deals with one of the biggest problems Manu will face in the league.
Yeah.
Like just looking at mons here, like that were drafted, something like Seismitoad and Tapu Fini, and theoretically, if Big Point was on a different team, but that's impossible. Both Slowbro and Slow King, like Zarude single-handedly takes care of those.
I don't know.
And that's
Fini
a
might be
huge
a little.
plus.
Fini might be a little iffy, depending on the set. Like I'm sure Drainkiss probably beats Zarude.
I like Wheezing too. Like Toxic Spikes are nice against his team, even though.
Yeah,
He's
and he's not, and he
gonna
doesn't
be-
have to run Levitate. He has a really good second ability too.
The neutralizing gas.
Yeah, I like his team. I like Raikou,
I like his
especially
team, too.
keeping
It's-
Scald.
It's just such a Manu team that like.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna do well with it just because obviously he knows all the mons. Like he's got all his goons lined up, and then like Mega Aerodactyl.
And
So-
Primate.
Shout out Fortress finally being drafted again.
Come on, shit.
I was just about to say. Anyways, we can move on to Kai.
Kai, he's returning. Kind of.
Kai's team.
He is returning, Cam. Not kind of, he is.
Well, he left.
But he returned.
I feel like Kai always takes like the new stuff. Didn't he take a bunch of Gen 8 mines last time too?
I don't remember.
He got pulled
Well,
last time.
he was big on fairy and steel types last time. Not necessarily new ones though.
Anyways,
He
I
got
like-
Spectre.
he's got 4 Gen 8 mines. That's all I'm gonna say. He's got Copperaja, Flapple, Spectre, and Colossal.
That's not that bad.
This is not bad.
Well, I mean, the
It's not
highlights
bad.
right away are that you put Spectre, which actually pairs pretty well with Lele stopping Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak, revenge kills, which is huge. And then you pair that up with one of the core mons of Gen 7, and still a top 10 to 15 mon in Gen 8 in Lando. That's a really, really good top trio right there for both breaking and, in Lando's case, some defensive utility.
I also
really
really
like,
I like Scyther for tier 4
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, with dual wing beat.
Scyther's a really good mon that you should not sleep on. Like if you
The
sleep
only-
on it and then it like sets up a sword stance, it could beat a lot of teams.
And it's annoying. It runs into one small issue is with Scyther is that you gotta decide. Honestly, you kind of decide between Roost and Brick Break. You either risk.
God, are
just
you
getting
watching a
absolutely walled-
YouTube video?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What?
Were you watching a YouTube video?
Yeah, is there like TV
We
going
can
on?
hear. We can hear you.
I muted him.
Okay.
What
Anyways,
the hell?
Keep going.
So anyway, Scyther, it runs into a little bit. Like I agree, I love it. That's why I nominated it to tier 4 for a reason. Dual Wingbeat is huge with it with Technician, and it gets U-turn. It gets as multiple stats. It also has Bug Bite for Technician boost as well. But it runs into the issue of like, do I run Brick Break or do I run Roost.
Also, Eviolate
and-
or Boots is also going to
Yeah.
be big for it.
It's going to be Eviolite adds a genuinely really good bulk to it, but you also then are obviously weak to hazards. And honestly, looking at this team, he doesn't really have great removal, so I feel like more often than not we're going to see Boots run, which will hurt some of Scyther's survivability. Not survivability, in a way, survivability won't take hits as well as it could. So it's just kind of it's a weird mon because like you got two sets that both have obvious weaknesses and obvious strengths. So I'm really curious to check those though. He did really well with it in the off-season league that we ran with it. So like I'm hoping he can pull it off again, especially now that he gets full wing beat.
Yeah, I like he has a lot of hazard setters, like Stealth Rock was Lando, you have Sticky Web was Galv, Spikes was Klefki, then you have like Chansey Colossal also with rocks. I like that.
We also I just noticed he has a fucking Mega Blastoise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mega
So
Blastoise is hard to
bad.
use
It's
though.
crazy.
Mega Blastoise is hard to use. Like you have to play perfect with it. I feel like for it to be
The big thing is
amazing.
don't get toxic. It's a huge thing. You can't just you can't use it to. It's not a defensive like backbone, and don't let it get toxic. Like those are the two rules of Mega Blastoise.
Yeah, Mega Blastoise is bulky, but just don't switch it in on like attacks where you know it's gonna take like 40%. Just don't do it.
Yeah, there's no
Please.
reason to do that. Especially since he doesn't have. Actually, does Chance gets Wish, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just Blissey? Okay. What I was gonna say is that I like his team. It's just that Caparaja, Flapple, and Colossal. I don't know. Those three mons just feel like
Flapple's
he
good.
He could have.
Flapple's good.
He could get an
Flapple's a
upgrade
lot-
at every single position. I think.
Flapple is a lot better as a tier 5 mon than it was. I think we had a tier 4 last season. It's worth it in tier 5 because fact of the matter is it has I think with Hustle the strongest outrage or like one of the strongest outrages.
Well, it's Grab Apple. Grab Apple's crazy.
Grab Apple and Sucker Punch, D-Dance. I mean, it's a threatening mon. That is not a mon you want to see get a D-Dance though, because then you're just hoping to God that it misses.
Then it misses and your whole team loses.
Yeah, or you just auto lose 6-0, or you auto win 6-0. Like it's a scary mon. You don't want to have to deal with that.
But Caparaja is bad. Caparaja's a bad Pokemon.
No, it has T-Crash, Nick. It gives you.
Sucks. It sucks.
It
That
has.
mon is terrible. It's awful.
It has a lot of.
Is it a tier 5 or tier 4?
5.
It's tier 4.
Oh.
No, it's tier 4.
Oh, it's a bad tier 4.
Yeah, that probably it does hit those so
Nick,
hard.
are you
get such good
Nick, are you
coverage.
goofy?
Caparaja is awful.
I
I
just
mean,
don't
that
see the
was-
purpose.
Nick, are you goofy?
I don't
Shut
see.
up, Jan.
I don't think Copperage is as bad as what Nick is saying, but I don't
Yeah.
see why
It's
he.
not.
I don't see why he drafted Copperaja when he has Klefki.
Well, they do fit very different roles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
is. So
like
it's okay when you draft different types when they fit such different roles.
I just feel like there's better tier 4 wall breakers than Copperaja.
Sure. I don't know what was available when he made the pick. I can't really comment on that. I don't even look what's still available.
I mean, he could have taken like something like Beware or like something like Fast, a Durant, two Huskamons.
Are you Storm? I would much rather have a Caparaja than Beware.
Wait, hang on.
I
Actually,
would rather have Beware.
wait, hang on. Beware is actually good for his team. He doesn't have
Copperaja
normal stab
sucks.
or fighting stab.
No, he doesn't even have a fighting type. Like, you could take a Passimian even. But that thing didn't get drafted.
Oh,
A Metacham, a Champ. There's a lot more options.
Yeah.
what the hell is living a hit from Caparaja?
Alright.
Caparaja is slow and dies to like a mud shot.
That thing's the agent.
Caparaja is terrible.
God, you're dumb. Nick is too far gone.
Oh my god.
Alright, let's keep moving, guys.
Colossal.
Going on to the last one with
Colossal.
I kind of agree there. Having used it,
Meteor
me and
beam,
Yad
meteor
me and
beam.
Yad used burnout to make that thing viable.
Meteor
and it
beam,
still didn't really
meteor
work.
beam, meteor beam.
It's so slow. Ugh.
Anyway,
bad.
me and Yad
No,
used some wacky sets
hang
to try
on.
and make that thing
Hang
viable.
on. You switch it in. You switched it on a fire type, right?
Champ, Yeah, shut the hell up.
You switch
Shut
it-
up.
You switch it in on a fire move, get steam, with steam engine or whatever, click meteor beam, GG. Colossal just.
What about
It's
what
just-
Why
about
would I not
like
just run like whatever?
okay,
Okay.
no, what you literally need to run is burn up weakness policy.
We're not doing
Steam
that
engine.
again. We're not doing that.
It would have worked. It wouldn't have gotten any kills, but it like would have gotten to +2, +2, +6.
Now, what you need
It
to
would
run
have just-
is
Meteor beam.
That's the whole goal of Pokemon, God. Get into those stats, but have it do nothing.
what you need to run. What you need to run is like Flash Fire, Steam Engine, Meteor Beam, Weakness Policy, Focus Sash. This thing needs so much help. It's awful.
What you
Commercials
need to
are
run is a
bad.
different Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we give?
Exactly.
Anyways, Colossal is
Looks cool.
There's utility there.
I
I will
like
say there is some utility. It offers spikes, rapid spin, rocks,
Meteor beam.
will-o-wisp,
Shut
and
up.
Meteor beam one more fucking time.
He also has 2 bug types. Why does he have 2 bug types?
Meteor beam.
Swag.
Swag. Oh, okay.
Anyways,
Little-
before Kai drafts by the beat of his own drum. Anyway, so as we mentioned, there's some issues with this team. I think there's some fun mons that are, like we mentioned, Blastoise, Spectre, Tapu Lele, and Landorus forms a very good core. He's got utility in Silvally, Gallop, and Klefki. Like, that's a solid top 7 right there.
I just wish he had more bulk.
I think Kai can bring just Websgale, Vantula, and then Spectre and Lele, just those 3 mons every single week, and win at least 2 games.
I mean, doesn't he play you? So yeah.
Well, yeah, he's gonna get at least 1 win. He plays me week 2.
Damn.
Oh, Kai, we're not trying to shit on you that much. Nick and Yacht are just assholes.
Yeah,
What?
let's go.
I was.
I
was saying
he's
Nick
gonna
is
get
terrible.
beaten. Yeah, I was
Nick
saying
is
that
awful.
I'm gonna get crushed by Ghost Horse.
This
I
guy
don't know how I
switched
beat
it a
this thing.
Gliscor to a Weavon.
Yeah, it was a stunt. It was a stunt. It was a stunt.
No,
Alright.
bad play. We don't have to
Those
talk.
are kind of
Moving on to Jed's team. Moving on to Jed's
Wait,
team.
hang on. I really
No.
like the Psychic Terrain plus Ghost Horse.
We already
think
went
we
over
already
that. We already went over that.
I don't listen. Like I said, I'm deaf.
Get out of here.
Okay. Next up, we have Jed's team, who Snipe, Nick.
The ice horse.
The Glastrier Ice Horse.
Which I think should have been tier 1, but we made it tier 2.
I cried so much after you signed it. It was so
Yeah, who cares, Nick? Honestly.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh,
I,
alright.
as I mentioned kind of earlier, and I noticed it, like, well, one thing I do know about Jed's team is, like, I really do think he might have the best Fairy Dragon Steel core in the
Exactly.
draft. That's an insane trio right there.
We're not talking about Stack Attacker. We're talking about Aegislash, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not talking about Mega Dino. We're talking about.
And thankfully he didn't draft 2 dragon types. So I mean, I think he did a really good job there. I think we have a little bit of 88 to think about. I know they kind of worked together on this draft. So I think they worked really well and started off very solid. Drafted a really threatening Mon in Glastrier. Got himself. I do think the stock target pick is good from a trick room perspective. As well as Megadina, gave himself a couple options there.
I
for
really
running
like
Quick Jump,
Gligar,
which
too.
is huge for Glastrier. After that, though, I mean, Suicune's a good pickup, but there's a lot of other.
Suicune's
issues here
really
that
good.
I don't.
Suicune's really good.
I love Suicune. Suicune causes me so many
Suicune's great.
problems. Gligar is obviously a good EV, like easier rocker, defogger, toxicer. Like,
Don't sleep on Torkoal. My God, Torkoal.
This is
Torkoal's
definitely.
okay.
I think this is the first like actual Trick Room draft that I've ever seen. I think his fastest mon being what is it, Ziggy? I think that's
Ziggy at 317.
I think that's gonna be a problem.
It makes it obvious he has to run Trick Room if he wants to have
Yeah.
create
But-
momentum from.
Glastrier is an absolute demon. in
That
Trick
thing
Yeah.
is such a demon.
Good thing he got Clarex to trick Heavy Ball.
Yeah.
Did you say Clayrex?
What is this called?
Calyrex.
Calyrex?
Clayrex.
Clayrex.
Anyways, like looking at his team, I mean, I do think that I do like the pickup of Blaine Slowking. I think that's gonna be a better mon than we think. I think it could warrant. We'll see how it goes. I think
I
it's a
wish.
very good mon.
I
think
wish he
Gary
had
Spell's
more
gonna be-
spinners. I don't
That
like.
is true.
Torko's an
really good.
okay spinner with boots. Hitmonchan's an okay spinner. And then,
I was just
Gligar.
gonna start off with the good stuff. You know, we're gonna get to the bad stuff. I think Slowking is a very fun pickup. I think that's gonna be really helpful, especially against a team like Will. I don't know if they play each other, but Will is going to struggle against a mon like Slowking that just removes PP from his stall tactics.
PP. How much does PP does Slowking G have for its move? Does 16?
I have no idea.
Let's look it up. I'll look it up. You guys keep going.
Stack Attack is a really underrated mon, I feel like.
Stack Attack I hit so hard.
It got Body Press too. It goes Stack Attack Attacker, and then you're like, what? And then you just
Calyrex is bad.
Yes, Jetty, if you're listening, please get rid of it.
Yeah, like actually, please drop it. That thing.
Wait, Jetty, if you're listening right now, drop it and just get Tangela, please. Please.
Aries Spell only gets 8 PP.
That makes sense.
Wait, Calyrex is his
Grass type.
His only grass type.
Drop it, get Tangela. Drop it,
See,
get Tangela.
I forgot it was a grass type. That's how irrelevant it's so bad.
It's bad.
An asshole. It's trying its best.
No, it's not.
Wait a second. No, guys. He can run Calyrex Ice Rider form. That's why you drafted it. Oh Christ! We're all in trouble.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, this is not good.
Jed, we're just joking. Please,
no,
we cannot do that.
If you pull up to battle with a Glastrier and Calyrex, but put the Glastrier under the Calyrex and make it Ice Rider, I mean, I'll continue the battle, but you better only run 5 Pokemon, because otherwise it's cheating.
No, it's not.
The way you just had to articulate Ice Rider form there was something.
Yeah, why'd you
not
say
good, something?
Why'd you say Glastrier under Calyrex instead of just saying Calyrex on top of like?
Well, because
and then make it Ice Rider.
Yeah, and then just bring it as Ice Rider.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's go on to Brown. Let's go on to Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, like some of your mods. Just make
Brown has slacking. Alright, Brown,
Go.
if you're listening, you're gonna use it for 2 weeks and then realize, maybe I shouldn't use slacking, and then you'll get rid of it.
Yeah, Cam drafted slacking in another league, and then he used it for 2 weeks, and then you went, maybe I shouldn't have drafted slacking.
Brown, I really think your team is just super weird, but I love it. So
I like Almost Star. Meteor Beam.
That's what he kept saying.
Meteor Beam,
so weird,
Almost
but I
Star.
love it.
Guys, my team looks so ugly. I love it.
Shut up, we're not talking about yours.
I'm talking about Brown.
Why is Runeriga so tall?
Why is Alcremie drafted?
Listen. Alcremie has potential.
He already has Mega Mawile though. That's fairy type.
Nah, Mega Mawile's not a real fairy type. You're never switching that shit in.
I mean, that's true, but
Alcremie can tank some special pigs, and Anyways, let's actually talk about Super Real. Tangrowth, Incineroar, and Rotomosh. Very solid core. Don't know why you have Amistar or Slaking.
That was some goofy stuff.
Slowbro G, I love the pick. Again, as you already learned, it does not get teleports, so don't try and run it. I really actually do like Slowbro. I think that's always going to be one of my favorite picks in draft. And I think it probably fits decently well with this team. It's going to offer it offers some very important bulk to his team that otherwise you get railed by. Guys, we are recording.
Sorry.
Terrakion can run Meteor Beam, I think. So
Christ.
But you also picked up a Boltund, Star, a Slaking.
Hey, Boltund is hot dog ass. That mod sucks. Slacking also really bad.
I mean, I really just do honestly want to leave this team. It's really ugly, but it has some major
Brown,
potential.
we're so sorry.
So we'll just leave it at that.
I think his fastest mon is Boltund.
I think Latios can run
his
Meteor
fastest-
Beam.
His fastest actual Pokemon is Latios, and that's
Yeah, both
It's
doesn't
just
count.
followed right behind by Terrakion, and then he just kind of waits until what? Rotom?
Rotom.
oh shit.
So,
Speed
Brown,
on this team.
honest, Brown, you are correct. Your team's ugly as hell.
Speed on this team, not good. Wall breaking potential with Latios, Mawile, Terrakion.
It's crazy.
Incineroar.
Very
Incineroar
good.
can-
Hey, Incineroar.
Incineroar, Darkest Flareon, and Flareon just breaks some shit.
Yeah, but
I don't
he
like the
wasn't-
I just kind of look at Incineroar and think it's probably not very good.
It's,
He
no,
doesn't
it's
have
good.
any.
It's a good
Checkmate,
pivot.
Zero.
retard.
It's a good pivot.
Oh, checkmate atheist. I don't like his lack of momentum. I think he only has Rotom and Bolton. with
And
Volt Switch.
Incineroar.
Incineroar gets parting shot.
Oh yeah. So
And U-turn.
Incineroar and Rotom.
Latios, like I
That's it.
said earlier, can run U-turn. You'll just have to forfeit.
Yeah, you can put Meteor Beam on it too.
Yeah, this put me.
I mean, no, you can run anything. You just have to forfeit. If
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Great insight from Yad.
Yeah.
Just run Meteor Beam.
Sorry,
This
Brown,
team-
we're not taking your draft very serious.
It doesn't look good. Like it doesn't. But I know that
I don't know
it
where
can
to
be.
start on this team.
prepping for it,
Yeah.
prepping for it is going to be a pain in the ass. Like I said, I'm looking at it. I don't see a Wish Passer. I don't think Alcremie gets Wish, which is kind of a problem. But he drafted Tangrowth,
No, Latios gets
Slowbro.
Wish.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No,
No, it doesn't.
Is it only Latias?
Yeah.
I don't think Latias gets Wish either.
Yes, it does.
I'm pretty sure Latias gets Wish. It does.
Okay, well, anyway.
Latios doesn't.
I mean, he has a pretty AIDS regen core with Slowbro and Tang.
Not as good as last season, though.
Well, I mean,
We're not
last season.
comparing to last season.
We're not talking about last season. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, this. I mean, I don't. It looks weird. I'm looking at this team. I see an Incineroar, a Slowbro, an Alcremie, a Runigrius, a Boltund, Slacking. Those are not real Pokemon. But I think they
Incineroar-
could.
Did you
Yeah.
tell Incineroar and Slowbro not real Pokemon?
Yes. I do
Incineroar's
think they could be
good.
I do think they could be overlooked, leading to some problems. But I think like the real problem on this team is going to come from Mawile, Latios, and Terrakion. And if a team can like neuter those, then Brown's going to have a pretty rough time.
His removal is also Latios and Rotom Wash with defog.
Hey, Rotom Wash is a very good defogger. I'll say it.
It is, but he's gonna have to run defog on it every single week, which isn't a huge problem, I guess. But I don't know.
It might be forthcoming the weeks where it doesn't have a good matchup, but it has to come else he just has to run boots on everything.
Also, Tangrowth, Incineroar, and Rotom Wash is a really good core. I like that. But this team's really not. It looks. I don't know.
It's an incredibly ugly team.
Okay.
It's just strange.
Last but not least, we're gonna go over to Nick.
Can I,
we're
just,
just-
can I start this one off?
No,
Can I
I
start
want to
this
start.
one
No,
Okay.
he doesn't get Meteor Beam.
This, I would like to start this one off, and then I'll be done. This team is dog ass, dog shit, dickhole.
Right.
I've never been more
Alright.
mad. I've never been more mad looking at a single team. Looking at this team, it puts just
Guys,
a
guys,
primal
guys,
primal
this
rage
is
in
so
me.
important. He has two slow, bro. He has two slow, bro.
Wait, Jesus.
Where does he have
Hell,
two
wait,
souls?
what happened? What happened? Wait, who is my tier 2 mom?
Pussy.
Oh, right. Oops.
Cinderace pussy. It was Cinderace pussy.
Yeah, we gotta fix this. Yeah,
Oh.
this team. I mean, it got significantly worse after the first couple of picks, but the first picks being Gliscor, Slowbro, Blissey,
Cinderace.
Kyurem.
Scared.
I was
Raging.
I don't know. I just looked at this team. I felt an unbridled rage I've never had before.
But hey, no, yeah, it's fine. You can beat this with Keldeo. You're fine. You can create any Keldeo set to beat anything.
I don't know. That was quite the throwback, but yes,
Yeah.
Keldeo. I will beat
always
anything with
throwing
Keldeo.
things back. I would agree. I really think this is a solid team. Weezing is a nice addition. Conk is so underrated for tier 1. I think it's really one of it gets first like it's defog and CC now, which are both big boosts to a team like just to spawn in general because it adds a lot of utility to it now and new wall breaking power. On top after that though, I really question. Nick, you were considering Mega Gyaro originally, and I really think you should have gone that instead over Mega Sharpedo personally. Eldegoss is just not good.
I know. Eldegoss is ass.
Yes, yeah, Mega though.
And I think, as we mentioned every season, I don't think you're going to find yourself bringing Steelix very often, which is not ideal for your ground type. You want ground types to be one of your most commonly brought mons.
I have Gliscor as a ground type.
I have Gliscor.
Okay, even more so. Why the fuck did you draft Steelix?
Because he needs a steel type.
I wanted a steel type, and the Steelix was there.
Why did you feel like the Blade?
I don't know.
Steelix is cool.
God, first Nick does this, then he tries to stunt with Gliscor. God,
Also, I drafted Mega Sharpedo over Mega Gyaro because Mega Sharpedo gave me the points to get Conkeldurr, which I really wanted. And it's not like Mega Sharpedo is a bad Mega. It can be a sweeper. Mega Gyaro would fit more.
The first 6 picks really felt like a draft that we normally see you going for, and then these last 5
took a nose
just
dive.
did not go well. I
switched it up.
Yeah, you don't usually switch up your entire draft plan midway.
I really don't think I needed a bit more offense, so I took Mega Sharpedo and Raichu. And the Conkeldurr came.
I think Raichu and Sharpedo are the ones I'm more okay with, because I love Giga Conkeldurr. I just question I don't love Yanmega. I don't love Eldegoss. I don't like Steelix.
Eldegoss is bad. Eldegoss is bad, but I'll stand by Yanmega and Steelix, but Eldegoss is ass. Eldegoss is ass. I picked it up because I needed a grass type, I think. And so
that's 100% the only reason you picked up.
I was like, whatever. I'll get this thing. I could have gotten Cradilly. Wait, I could have got Cradilly.
Was it gone by then?
Maybe it was, Bob.
Maybe it's been dropped, so you could pick it up now. So yeah, I mean, no, it's still an overall classic Nick team, I think. And there's a lot to hate about it in a good way. Like that, maybe Matrix has the most obvious, easiest way to maybe break through Gliscor, Blissey.
All right, I just dropped Steelix and Eldegoss for Drew Blade and Cradilly.
There you go. So I mean, I can name, like I said, I think one team in the league that has a decent chance of somewhat potentially breaking this defensive core.
I feel like Nick, you're gonna struggle with taunt. At least, I don't think Blissey and what's it called?
Blissey's gonna struggle with it.
I think
Gliscor, I think, is a little bit. I think the speed helps against taunt.
Yeah, it'll speed a lot of other taunt users.
But Blissey always struggles with taunt. Like that's not really. I kind of knew that one.
Run mental herb.
I just derailed pretty hard.
What?
I said I derailed Pac pretty hard.
What?
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Talking about his draft before he made the Cradilly and Dublade changes, since that's what we're actually evaluating. I would say I like most of your team. It was just those last few picks. It just did not feel like good picks. It just didn't they didn't mesh at all well. But there's still a lot to like here. There's a lot. It lacks a little bit of immediate wall power, which you did your best to pick up with Sharpedo. And Cinderace has some wall breaking power because of its stab. So you might find yourself struggling a little bit with offense, but at the same time, it's never been your MO anyways. So I do like this team as a whole from a stylistic standpoint for you, less so from a general objectivity standpoint, but still very good.
Also, Kyurem is a goat, so.
Kyurem's a dragon. What are you talking about?
Kyurem's such a good mon. I'm really glad I picked that up.
Also, Weezing's a good fairy type.
Scary. That's a scary mon with freeze dry now.
Weezing's a good underrated fairy, in my opinion.
What is?
Wheezing.
Wheezing.
It gets defog and stuff. Helps.
It gets defog.
Yeah, it gets defog.
Yeah, that's a really good mon. It's one I've been wanting to try out. Just haven't had the opportunity
He
yet.
looks cool.
I would say the worst thing about my team is either it's probably the removal. I don't really have much, but
No meteor beam.
You're not overly weak to it, and you have one of the most
Yeah.
obvious boots users in the game with Cinderace, with Core Change as well. So like, it's not terrible.
yeah, I'll be fine. It's just it's a little. In my
It's
offense, I think
it'll be annoying to get the chip a lot of times, but you're not at least weak to it. Outside like a couple.
I
times.
also don't like that sometimes you don't have a grounded poison. Like I know you have wheezing, but sometimes you're gonna want to run levitate.
yeah, that's true.
And like Kiram, if you don't run boots, he doesn't like.
That's one of the
splits.
reasons why I picked it after I got Glaze Core, because I wasn't even really thinking about levitate. It's just neutralizing gas is really nice, and I already had that flying type for it, so I'll be able to run neutralizing gas for the grounded poison, but there are some matchups where I'm gonna want to run levitate, and toxic spikes could screw me over. But like offensively, I think I'm okay between Cinderace, even Mega, Raichu, Sharpedo, Kyurem, and Conk. I think I'll be okay.
Two is very niche, but yes, and Lightning Rod is actually a very useful ability for your team. You have Cinderace just doesn't like taking attacks in general, and then Sharpedo and Slowbro obviously being very weak, and Mega.
Plus, you can
as
eat
well,
any
so.
electric hit. Unless it's like a wild charge.
Wow, charge.
Wild charge.
I just meant from like a Lightning Rod standpoint, Raichu is a very good fit from that standpoint, because it's another thing you have to worry about when you try and click the T-Bolt. You might think you have it free, especially if Gliscor's down, but then you realize, oh, Raichu's there, and then you get reverse swept by Raichu, which is always embarrassing for the opponent. So
Raichu also has good coverage with surfing grass.
I have never seen someone get swept by a Raichu.
oh,
No,
buddy.
Robbo. Robbo
Robo's
swept someone
done
right
it.
too.
Bill did it. No, Robo did it to Bill.
Yeah, yeah. That was awful. Robbo 5-0'd this dude like single-handedly with Raichu.
That's because
It
it's
was
Bobo.
Yeah.
This was when Robo was at his peak.
I'll have to consult Robbo on Raichu.
Yeah, Raichu's just it's a solid low tier mon, and for tier 5, it's got pretty decent value in there. So
It's better than Pikachu.
all right, I think we need to continue going on. Who do you guys think
Don't clap like
will
that.
be the champion this season?
Outside of yourself, you can't just outside of yourself.
Oh God, if we have a conversation about picking yourself again.
I think Nikki. I think Nikki's good.
I would guess Manu, just because he already plays super well. He gets super lucky, and he has a team that he wants. So I think Manu could be the champion again.
He does get super lucky.
Yeah,
I
I feel like he got.
I think
every
Robbo's
single
gonna
one.
win.
I was just gonna say, I think Rabo's finally gonna come back to what we know him as and win. Victini and Dracovish together is so crazy.
For the fun of it, I'm gonna say Matrix, just because
Don't give
I
him.
do love that. I love his first 5 picks, and I think if he makes a couple small changes, that team's just you can't
Get rid of
wall
Lantern.
anything. Get rid of Aldino and Lantern. It's just a scary team, and if Matrix doesn't need to be at top skill to make playoffs, and at that point anything can happen. Because this is like just a really good top 5, and he's got Toad in there, right? Which is just go. So
People forget that Matrix was consistently making the playoffs before he just kind of fell off the face of the planet in terms of skill.
so he doesn't even so if he can even find a little bit of that skill again, he should make playoffs with this team. This team is very, very good offensively, and I think he can end matches in 10 turns if he plays even semi decently.
I'm gonna make a wild prediction and say that Jax wins and Garbodor is the kill leader.
All right,
That's a pretty original take.
That's
Unprecedented.
That's Nick's prediction.
Wait, Cam, remember when I had you do the dinosaur that said Alexa will make playoffs?
And she won playoffs.
Yeah, do it for
Do it for Garbodor being killed.
No, do it for Kai. Kai will make playoffs. Do that. I want to say Kai makes playoffs.
Okay.
Are you adding the dinosaur?
Yeah,
Add the
the
dinosaur.
dinosaur's on the screen right now.
Alright.
Hell yeah.
Look at him go.
So we got our prediction for champion. What about our predictions for kill leader?
Kill leader?
Golden.
It really depends on how well a team does, I guess.
I have
Zero.
no idea.
Yeah, take that
Yeah,
into account in
okay.
your mind. Where do you think it's gonna be?
I do think Yad Wazera, I think, will get kill leader because Yad always gets kill leader, and I think Zera is gonna be the mon that he's gonna clean up with. So I think Zera or with Yad is gonna be kill leader.
Yeah, Cam, remember Daniel Jones when he like had that really long 80-yard run?
And then he fell over.
And then he fell. That's just like Yad.
What the hell?
He runs full 80 yards and then he just trips right before the end.
Damn.
Anyway,
Okay, I think Torn T is gonna be the kill leader.
who would have Torchy?
Infinite.
Infinite.
I'm gonna say that Will makes Mega Guard Chomp the killer.
Huh?
Scale shot.
Hmm.
But with scale shot and everything, I think it could be like a dark horse.
Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to look at some teams here that don't have an obvious alpha, I guess, when it comes to being like a go-to kill mod. It's I want to say Victini or Drake.
I could also
everyone steal kills from each other.
I could also see Nico with Mega Diancie being kill leader.
Yeah, that's true.
If he's as good as people say.
Or Totodile with Fesculator.
This guy got a grotto.
Totodile.
This guy got a grotto.
Nico, get Tangle up, please.
I think I'm gonna follow Nick's prediction. Go some with Kai here. I'm gonna say Spectrier as a dark horse here.
Spectre, bitch, are we in France? There's an R at the end of that.
Isn't that how you say it? Spectrier? In Glastria?
Oui. I would like Spectrier. Bitch, there's an R.
No, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it.
Paksha's afraid of saying Spectrier with a hard R.
God, let's not go down that
I'm
road.
gonna
Anyway,
ban
I'm gonna
Jan.
Kai with Spectrier, I guess.
Yes, sir.
With Spectrier, I think that is a dark horse, as I have now made the pun twice.
Aha, it's a ghost horse.
Oh, does it use Meteor Beam?
Shut up, man.
And
Anyways.
so, yeah,
No
that is my
coverage. It's a
prediction.
no coverage mon. That mon's
Who do you guys think
it's gonna have a rough time.
will be man, I don't know.
Coach of the
Who's gonna
year?
get swept by Reggie Lucky first?
Oh yes, Raph.
Everyone, let's look at Will's schedule to figure out who he probably plays.
Ralph. I think Cam is gonna get swept by Reggie Lucky first.
I faced him
Like,
this
he'll
week.
never bring it. He'll never. I have a pile swine. I don't need to bring pile swine.
I don't need to
He's not
bring
gonna
Pilot
bring it.
Swine.
He can run Hydro Pump against you.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Reggie Lucky.
Here's what's gonna happen. Will is gonna bring Spec Sceptile against Ralph, and he's not gonna know that it's Spec. Nido Queen will get O-code by Leaf Storm, and then Reggie Lucky will kill him.
Doesn't he get O-code?
What if he has lightning rod marrow?
You've got me.
Or Torterra?
Who doesn't have a ground type? Who doesn't have a
You've got
ground
me
type?
again.
Does everyone have a ground type? I
Does
think
he play Nico? Because Nico barely has a ground type in Trump.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Raph doesn't have any ground types. So actually, I can see this happening. Yes.
No.
He actually has no electric communities.
Oh, never mind.
Oops.
I think
It could-
what I'm
it
doing
could
is
be
Nick-
Brown.
Nick
Guys,
is gonna
guys.
try and stunt with Gliscor at some point during the match.
Hey.
Guys.
Then Lucky's just gonna come in and win.
Reggie Lucky might be able to beat Brown.
I was just looking at that. Rune Regis? He's not gonna bring it.
Doesn't this shit die to Sucker Punch?
I don't know.
Probably.
From Mawile? I'm like sure it does.
Yeah, but
Why isn't this
Reggie Lucky?
Yeah.
Why isn't this recording over yet?
Yeah, we've been recording for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
No one's
we had
gonna
a lot
watch
of teams talk about, it. And for some reason, Yad was like,
I'm
"I'm
putting-
never gonna talk," and then he talked.
I'm putting time. I'm gonna put timestamps so people
Hey,
can watch.
if you're watching till this point, give the video a thumbs down just to know, just so we know who watched it all.
Guys, if you hear this, comment meteor beam right now, and so we know who our most loyal viewer is.
Don't do that. Like,
Do it.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Anyone who counts how many times Cam said the words
Keep
meteor
drink-
beam in
drink-
conjunction together will receive a $30 Visa gift card.
That's not true. This is not
As
true.
as an admin of the WBSC,
This is
you will
not true.
not be receiving the $30 Visa. That won't be
Comment
happening.
down below how many times you think Cam said meteor beam.
can we please end the recording?
Ooh, any final notes?
Cam's team is awful, and he's not gonna make playoffs.
Cam sucks.
I made
and I hope
playoffs 2
he
times in a
dies.
row. I made playoffs 2 times I've been.
I've made playoffs 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
Remember when you-
Last
remember
season
when you-
made nothing about this season.
Hang on, I'm gonna count down from 5. If we're not stopped recording by the end of 5, I'm gonna start sucking on my mic.
Oh,
Okay, okay.
All right, everyone,
Bye,
have
everyone.
have-